Chapter 3474. Triangle Eyes smiled and said, I didn't expect these two guys to be so good at playing. Ha ha, it seems that you used to play high-end games. High-end? Who would play high-end games with them in this second-tier city? If they were really high-end, they would be playing with the second generation of Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou. Han Yen said, just attend a few banquets, sleep for 3 to 5 days, and you can make millions. If you dare to play games like Russian roulette, it's not difficult to earn a sports car in one night. Your conditions are no worse than those dirty models. Triangle Eyes said, it shouldn't be difficult to play more high-end games than them. Humph. Han Yen snorted softly. What? Triangle Eyes was stunned for a moment. It sounds like you have a story. Han Yen looked at Triangle Eyes and said expressionlessly, if I hadn't met a few scumbags, do you think I would have become like this? You sell drugs. Let me ask you, do you take them yourself? Seeing that you are so sober, you definitely wouldn't touch this, right? Triangle Eyes didn't answer, which was a silent admission. Do you think I don't know how harmful this thing is? Han Yen sneered and said, I also know how harmful this thing is. I also know how it will make me become like this. Do you think I want to be like this? Ha ha. Triangle Eyes wanted to say something but stopped. In the end, he didn't say anything because he knew that people who were poisoned were generally cheated and tricked. I am Korean, Han Yen said. Han Yen said, 3 years ago, because I believed in love, I came to China without hesitation. For the person I love, I am willing to give up everything. I am willing to do anything for him. But what was the result of my exchange? I was played by him for a whole year, and I was sick of it. That year I was like his tool. I got addicted to drugs because of that person. I had to satisfy him and his friends, and anyone around him who could call him a brother. Only then could I get a little bit of ice. Later on, I fell out with him, but I was like an ant in front of him. He only needed to move his finger, and I couldn't survive. Whether it was Yanjing or Shenzhen, there was no place for me. I could only come here. In order to survive, I could only do things that I didn't like to do. I had no choice, because I had to survive. Triangle Eyes nodded and said, everyone has a story. You? What story can you have? To be honest, I was harmed by people like you. Han Yen said coldly, if it weren't for people like you, how many girls like me wouldn't fall into the abyss? The triangular-eyed man lowered his head. He seemed to be blaming himself. If it weren't for people like you who would do anything for profit, I wouldn't be like this today. Like a devil, for a little bit of ice. I can completely throw away my dignity. Han Yen shook her head with a bitter smile. Although what she said was according to the script, her emotions were not set by the script. What happened to her in Korea was the worst choice in her life. She was also being controlled by someone in Korea. She was also being controlled by poison. So her emotions were completely her own, which couldn't be faked. But do you know why I chose this path? Triangle Eyes' eyes flashed with a trace of resentment. If I tell you, you won't even believe it. Do you think I chose this path willingly from the beginning? I didn't. I was forced. Han Yen froze. The triangular-eyed man's voice was filled with hatred. I used to be a dutiful person. My hometown is located in the southern border of the drug source, and the head of our village made a fortune by sheltering those drug dealers. Everything was because he was involved in the inflow of drugs. What does that have to do with you? Yes, this matter had nothing to do with me at first, but it was different later on. Later on, it was related. Triangle Eyes said fiercely, because his matter was discovered by the anti-narcotics investigation, and then everything was traced back to our village. However, he actually had a beneficial relationship with a local anti-narcotics officer. Then, through his relationship, he directly threw the blame on my back. I completely unknowingly became a drug trafficker. Han Yen was a little surprised. It was a bit unfair to be a scapegoat. If it weren't for the coincidence that I found out about this in advance, I would have been arrested and sentenced. Maybe I would have been executed. Triangle Eyes said, I ran away before they caught me. When I ran away, the crime was confirmed, and then I became a wanted criminal. And then? Han Yen asked. I don't like being wronged. Since they said I was a drug dealer, then I became a drug dealer. Anyway, there is no way to change what I did or didn't do. I will always be a person with a stain. Triangle Eyes said, in my hometown, the only way I could escape was to cross the border into the Golden Mountain. That was 20 years ago. It was much easier to escape at that time. Han Yen didn't say anything and just looked at Triangle Eyes. After I ran away, I had to make a living. If I wanted to live, I had to make a living. In order to make a living, of course, I had to do anything. Triangle Eyes continued, but I ran to the Golden Triangle. What could I do? I could only work for those poppy gardens. I worked as a coolie for 4 whole years, and by chance, I caught the eye of the boss. Then, I became the caretaker of the poppy garden. I worked there for 3 years. The boss saw that I was smart, so he asked me to start exporting goods to the country. Han Yen was surprised. You were willing to be used by foreigners. The boss is not a foreigner. The boss is from Huaxia. Triangle Eyes said coldly, the Golden Triangle seems to have nothing to do with Huaxia. It is in the territory of the 3 corrupt countries, but Huaxia is indeed the strongest in the Golden Triangle. If you count with your fingers, at least 7 of the top 10 big shots are from Huaxia. Han Yen was surprised and broke into a cold sweat. I exported goods to Huaxia for the boss for 3 years. Finally, something happened. Triangle Eyes said, I was framed by a villain. The boss thought that I colluded with the people in the territory to do evil, so he wanted to kill me. But I was lucky. I didn't die. I survived, but I couldn't survive in the Golden Triangle. I returned to China, and at this time, 10 years have passed. I didn't expect that I would start to become a receiver of goods at the border of Huaxia. I worked for 5 years and finally had my own small force. I can handle the goods myself, and I am not only in contact with the people in the Golden Triangle, but also with some people in Hong Kong and Macau who can contact American goods. Because Han Yen had a monitoring device on her. Therefore, Su Yun and Chen Wei were able to hear everything that the triangular-eyed man said. Triangle Eyes smiled and continued, I didn't expect that I was so talented. I am doing better and better in this industry. But in this industry, there are no accidents. The boss who worked closely with me in the Golden Triangle was killed not long ago, and my people also suffered heavy losses. This is why I came here. You have been doing this for 20 years? Han Yen-er's face was ugly. Do you know how many people you have killed? Ha ha. But who forced me to do this? Do you think I want to kill so many people? Triangle Eyes said, I was also forced to do this. Are the 2 people who framed you still alive? Han Yen-er asked. With my style of doing things, do you think they will still be alive? Triangle Eyes sneered. Of course I won't let them live. Letting them live is the biggest insult to myself. Han Yen-er listened with cold sweat. This kind of person's reaction was really scary. When I had the ability to kill them, I did it as soon as possible. He. But the funny thing is that the bastard in the anti-drug team who framed me was actually put on the hat of an anti-drug hero. He was actually thought that because he worked too hard in the anti-drug team, he offended the drug dealers, and the drug dealers must kill him. Ha ha ha, it's really funny. Because the drug dealers like revenge, this matter naturally became a matter of course. Chapter 3475. You are like a madman. Han Yen-er said, a madman who can do anything. That's right. When I'm forced into a corner, I'm indeed capable of doing anything. Triangle Eyes said, but it is because of my madness that I can have everything I have today. I can live until now, and I can get you the best quality blue ice. Han Yen-er was stunned. Where did you get the blue ice? The Golden Triangle doesn't seem to have this kind of product. I have been in contact with so many people before, and the goods are all from the Golden Triangle, but no one can get blue ice of such high purity. Of course, this is not from the Golden Triangle. Triangle Eyes said, the black monkeys in the Golden Triangle probably don't have the IQ to refine blue ice of such high purity. Then where does this blue ice come from? Han Yen continued to ask. It doesn't make sense for you to ask, because you can't get this blue ice without going through me. No one in Huaxia can get this kind of product without going through me, Triangle Eyes said proudly. Han Yen said, if this is not from the Golden Triangle, then where is it from? This is a method created by a chemistry teacher in a university in North America. The purity of the product refined in this way is very high. The characteristic of this kind of product is that the color is different from ordinary products. Triangle Eyes said, this kind of product is quite popular. It is not easy to come to the Eastern Hemisphere. It is difficult to get it. And the only one who can get it in Huaxia is me. My connections in Hong Kong and Macau are much stronger than you think. Triangle Eyes smiled and said to Han Yen, even if I tell you where this product came from, you can't get it. Han Yen nodded. I know I don't have the ability to get the product directly, so I am willing to pay a high price to get it from you. I told you I want more. Are you ready? Of course. Triangle Eyes said, it is just that you want so much that I am very worried about your safety. You don't have to worry about this. Han Yen said, I am not stupid enough to use this to suck myself to death like someone else. If that's the case, you're trying to use this to... Don't talk nonsense. Han Yen glared at him. A suspicious smile appeared on the triangular-eyed man's face. Judging from your reaction, I'm afraid I'm right. I have no idea what you're talking about. Han Yen said, I'm just here to get the goods. I don't want to waste time talking. I've told you so much about me, so it's fine for you to tell me your purpose, right? I've said before that we need to trust each other before we can make a deal. Otherwise, why would I talk so much about my past? Now you know me very well, but I don't seem to know you that well, right? Triangle Eyes said indifferently. Han Yen gritted her teeth and said, even if I tell you, you can't do anything to me. This thing is the favorite of an old man I got. Now that he has made a will, everything of his will be mine after he dies. I don't have much youth left, so I don't want to waste a few more years on an old man. I want him dead right now. So, I want him to keep sucking, keep sucking, keep sucking. With his broken body, he will die in 3 months at most. They say women are the most vicious. I didn't understand at first, but now I do. Triangle Eyes frowned and said, you really want to kill someone who is willing to give you all his property? I'm warning you, don't talk nonsense. I'm not the one who wants to kill him. He wants these things himself. If he sucks himself to death, it has nothing to do with me. Han Yen warned Triangle Eyes very seriously. Triangle Eyes laughed and said, isn't that the same thing? It's the same thing. You're telling me this has nothing to do with me, so you don't have to worry at all. Okay, I don't want to talk nonsense with you, Han Yen said. I want to get the goods and leave as soon as possible. I'm worried. What's there to worry about with me here? Triangle Eyes signaled Han Yen to not rush and said, I promise you that this is the safest place for you to get the goods. Suddenly, Han Yen thought of a problem, but this problem was obviously not in their previous script. But Han Yen suddenly realized that this might be very important to Su Yun and the others. Right. I have another question to ask you, Han Yen said. I was very confused just now, so I didn't react. At the beginning, you said you came to Qingdao because something happened over there. How much blue ice do you have? If I want it all the time in the future, how much can you have? Since this stuff is so rare, and you've gotten into big trouble, can you still get this kind of blue ice in the future? You don't have to worry about that. Triangle Eyes frowned unhappily. Han Yen words made him very uncomfortable. Of course I'm worried about that. Han Yen shook her head and said, your current situation makes me very worried. You are a person with trouble. Let me tell you, even if trouble comes to me now, it won't kill me. Even if I run to the person who got the goods for me, he will be willing to protect me. He has the ability to protect me. Because I'm worthy of him protecting me and being my protective umbrella. In the past, I can still help him earn more money. Triangle eyes glared at him. Han Yen nodded and said thoughtfully, "So, you have a very strong backer over there." "You can interpret it however you want," Triangle eyes said. "You just need to relax." At this time, Chen Wei, who heard everything backstage, immediately changed his plan. He realized that he couldn't catch this person. If he caught this person, even if they knew that the blue ice entered Huaxia through the water wheel and knew where the water wheel entered Huaxia, it would be very difficult to catch the culprit behind this. If Triangle Eyes was the bait, maybe everything would be different. This bait could definitely lure out important people. By then, if they had solid evidence, they might be able to catch the culprit behind this. With a plan in mind, Chen Wei's decision was very decisive. He immediately contacted Su Yun. Su Yun was wearing an invisible earpiece. "Su Yun, we need to let this person go," Chen Wei said. "Find a way to let the main culprit go. Everyone else must be caught. But we must let the main culprit leave without him noticing. And I need you to find a way to help me keep an eye on the main culprit. We can't let him know." Su Yun believed that Chen Wei's decision was made after careful consideration. If they wanted to keep an eye on Triangle Eyes, only he and Lin Ge could do it. But it wasn't their first time in the bar. With Triangle Eyes' vigilance, a familiar face would definitely arouse his suspicion. At this time, Su Yun could only think of one person, and that was Cho Yun. Perhaps only Cho Yun was the most experienced person. Cho Yun definitely wouldn't do something like this. And at this time, the one who could react the fastest would definitely be Cho Yun. Su Yun immediately took out his phone and briefly told Cho Yun the situation. He also asked Cho Yun to come to the bar in advance and be on standby. When Cho Yun received Su Yun's message, a surge of excitement and passion rose from the depths of her heart. It was a feeling she hadn't felt for a long time. It seemed that she hadn't felt this way since Guagua left them. It could be said that Cho Yun had been living a very, very peaceful life after Guagua left. There was nothing that could make her feel the surge and passion in her past life. And Su Yun's message this time completely aroused the unruly feeling in Cho Yan's heart. After all, Cho Yun was Cho Yun. After all, she was the Fox Supreme in the underground world who once made many people tremble in fear. At this time, Cho Yen naturally wouldn't decline. She never knew how to repay the peaceful life Su Yun brought to her. So if Su Yun needed her, she would definitely step forward without hesitation. She would reject anyone, but not Su Yun. After Su Yun received a positive answer, he felt a lot more relaxed. Then Su Yun and Lin Gu exchanged glances and quickly adjusted their previous battle plan. This level of tacit understanding and reaction was definitely not something an ordinary person could have. Chapter 3476. After Su Yun was done, he gave Chen Wei a reassuring reply. Chen Wei was relieved. As long as he had Su Yun, he was much more confident than usual. Although Han Yen had asked some questions, she didn't change the entire mission plan. She still did what she was supposed to do, and everything went on as usual. The only thing that was different from the plan was the extra questions she asked. "When can we make the deal? I brought enough money this time. If you don't keep your promise, I don't think we should waste each other's time." Han Yen sped up the mission. "Once you see the goods, the money is yours. You are not in a hurry, which makes me suspect that you don't have that much money. You don't have to be suspicious. I have the goods ready," Triangle Eyes said. "Don't worry. Then show it to me," Han Yen said. "There's no point in just saying it. The amount of goods you can get with this amount of money isn't a small amount. Naturally, I wouldn't dare to bring them to the bar so easily. If I brought so many goods and there really was a sudden inspection, I wouldn't have enough time to destroy them," Triangle Eyes said thoughtfully. "Then what do you mean? You don't have the goods?" Han Yen picked up the bag of money and turned to leave. This decision was very decisive. Su Yun had emphasized this to Han Yen many times. At times like this, he would give Triangle Eyes a judgment. Only those who came to get the goods would leave when they saw that he didn't have the goods. If they didn't make the decision to leave immediately, there must be something wrong. So, Han Yen-er's actions made Triangle Eyes trust her. Triangle Eyes stopped Han Yen-er and said, "If you want the goods, come with me to another place. It's only half an hour away. Why should I trust you?" Han Yen-er looked at Triangle Eyes cautiously. "What if you don't have the goods and you just want to trick me into leaving?" Triangle Eyes smiled and said, "You want the goods to let the old man die quickly. But if the old man dies and you still need the goods, you will come to me again. If I take your money, I will lose a lot of money in the future. I'm not a person who will lose a lot of money for small things. You want to keep me for your business?" Han Yen-er laughed coldly. "That's the simplest way to understand it." Triangular Eyes nodded. "That's why I don't need to make any other choices." "Okay, then tell me where we're going," Han Yen-er said. "At least let me know where I'm going. I don't want to be taken to a strange place without knowing anything. I'm a very insecure person." "The walls have ears." The triangular-eyed man said a few simple words. Han Yen-er frowned and said, "Okay, let's go now." "Of course now. I don't want to waste too much time." Triangle Eyes nodded. Han Yen-er's footsteps were hurried, but just as she and Triangle Eye were about to leave the bar, Su Yun and Lin Gu stopped her again. "What's going on? Aren't you paying back the loan sharks? Why can't you pay back the money in your hands?" Su Yun said as he walked over. Lin Gu also left his seat. Although he didn't walk directly to Han Yen-er, he stood in a position where it was most convenient for her to walk to the door. "Brother, I have something in their hands. I'm going to get it from them now. Otherwise, I can't give them the money," Han Yen-er explained. Triangle Eyes answered naturally, "Indeed. After all, if the IOU is still in my hands, she won't give me the money. You look like a warm-hearted person. But as a friend, you are too warm-hearted. You'd better go drink your wine and mind your own business." "Who the F***ck are you? Are you educating me? Believe it or not, I'll call someone to smash this place tonight." Su Yun scolded directly, "Don't point fingers in front of me." Lin Gu also walked directly to Triangle Eyes. "What did I just hear? I heard someone say that my brother is meddling in other people's business. Damn, why don't you ask around about what we do for a living? Why are you pretending in front of us?" The sudden conflict between the two instantly made all of Triangle Eyes' men alert. When Triangle Eyes' men surrounded Su Yun and Lin Gu, Su Yun laughed disdainfully. He pointed at Triangle Eyes and said, "With just these few people, are you sure you dare to play with me?" Triangle Eyes was also a ruthless guy. When he heard this, he naturally couldn't take it lying down. The few people who could escape with Triangle Eyes were all ruthless and shady brothers. At this moment, a guy not far behind Su Yun took out a dagger and scolded, "Then let's see if we dare to play with you." As he spoke, the guy stabbed the dagger in his hand directly at Su Yun's back. These people definitely didn't say, "Scare." They did it immediately. Triangle Eyes wasn't afraid of trouble. He also roughly understood the situation of the other party from Han Yen-er, so he felt that he could handle this kind of person. As long as he was ruthless enough, he could intimidate them and make them not dare to continue playing with him. Triangle Eyes was very principled when it came to this kind of thing. He also told his men that in the local area, unless it was a local bully with a strong background who could make them hide, they shouldn't be afraid of other people no matter how strong they were. They should just beat them to death. As long as they were still alive, they would be afraid of them for the rest of their lives. Once this ruthless attitude was brought up, they would do anything, and they would not consider the consequences at all. Of course, if he wanted to stab Su Yun with this knife, it would take him a few hundred years to do so. Just when the kid thought that he was about to succeed, Su Yun turned around and seized the opportunity to snatch the dagger from the kid's hand with his right hand. Before the kid could react, his left hand grabbed the kid's hand that was holding the dagger and slammed it on the table beside him. The dagger in his right hand was directly stabbed without hesitation. The dagger, which wasn't very sharp, easily pierced the guy's entire hand and even the table because it was strong enough. The guy's hand was pinned to the table by Su Yun. In such a painful situation, the guy gritted his teeth and endured it. Su Yun glared and pulled Han Yen to his side. This kind of angry expression was particularly scary. Can't you see that they have other intentions? If you go with them, who knows where they will gang rape you? Han Yen was panicked and helpless. She didn't even dare to breathe loudly. The triangular-eyed guy was really scared. To be exact, he was shocked, completely shocked. He never thought that the other party would do such a thing. His mind was completely stunned. I'm telling you, although it's natural to pay back what you owe, if you want to take the money away, you have to take what you should take and solve this in front of us. Su Yun said, otherwise, don't even think about taking her away. Lin Gu sneered and blocked the exit of the bar. Today, whether you want to call the police or play dirty with us, you can't solve the problem. The triangular-eyed guy gasped. He didn't expect such a thing to happen at such a critical time. Brother. My two brothers. I beg you, this is not as serious as you think. I just went out with him to solve the problem. I beg you, don't do this. Han Yen said, you're making it difficult for me. You're saying it as if we shouldn't protect you. Su Yun stared at her. No, no, no. Of course I didn't mean that. Han Yen shook her head desperately and said, I really don't dare to ask you to help me. It's really not a big deal. It's not a problem that can't be solved. I'm really grateful to you too. You called me brother today. I can't just let others bully you like this. Su Yun pointed at the triangular-eyed guy again. You, listen to me. Today you have to explain it in front of me. Don't play any tricks. Okay. The triangular-eyed guy suddenly smiled. Okay, I'll solve it in front of you today. You. What do you mean? Han Yen was a little dumbfounded. She looked at the triangular-eyed guy in confusion. She didn't know what he was thinking. The triangular-eyed guy's actions were indeed beyond Su Yun's expectations. Chapter 3477. You want to see what I have to give to her before you're willing to let her give me the money, right? The triangular-eyed man said in a somewhat inquiring tone. Su Yun frowned in his heart. This guy's thinking was really different from normal people. Although they had planned many kinds of developments after the conflict appeared, they never thought that the triangular-eyed man would make such a provocative behavior. At this time, any hesitation might arouse the triangular-eyed man's suspicion. But at this time, even Su Yun couldn't think of a good solution in an instant, because when these completely out-of-control situations appeared, it would always be somewhat unpredictable. Fortunately, there was still Lin Gu by Su Yun's side at this time. Lin Gu didn't care whether this situation was within the scope of the plan or not. He was annoyed when he heard this bastard's provocation. He was completely in the role of falling out with him. Just speak. Don't *king beat around the bush. We're going to protect her. What's wrong with that? Believe it or not, we won't return the money to you. Do you have a *king temper? If you have a temper, tell me. Who's your backer? Who gave you face? A few foreign dogs doing usury on Qingdao? Show me what kind of *king background you have. I don't believe that I can't suppress you. The triangular-eyed man was really angry at this moment. His ruthlessness once again crept into his heart silently. Then I'll really have to trouble you to wait for a while. The triangular-eyed man was also excited. After a sneer, he said, I'll arrange for someone to get the IOU right here. I'll show you the IOU. I'll see if you dare to swallow the money. Aya, why are you pretending to be high-end? If you dare to bring the IOU over, I'll tear it up for you. Lin Gu said, I'll tell you today that this is Qingdao. Even if I want to swallow your money, you can't do anything to me. You're nothing more than a watchdog, right? Hurry up and find your master to talk to him. Nightclubs all over the country had people watching over them. Lin Gu meant that he was just a nightclub keeper and wasn't qualified to talk to him. The triangular-eyed man turned around and said to his underling behind him in a low voice, "Go and get the goods we prepared." "Boss, are we really going to do this?" The little brother couldn't believe it. Triangular Eyes nodded. "Also, everyone, prepare your weapons for me. Today, I'm going to let these two arrogant brats know that they're still too inexperienced to play with me. When I started killing people, who knows where they were still drinking milk?" Yes. The sudden change in the situation made everyone a little overjoyed, but under this sudden change, everyone also realized that the situation would definitely become more dangerous. This kind of danger was the most disadvantageous to Su Yun and the other two. Chen Wei also quickly realized the danger, but things had already progressed to this point. If he suddenly stopped or intervened at this time, it would mean that everything would be for naught. However, just as Chen Wei was in a dilemma and didn't know what to do, his phone received a message from Su Yun. A few simple words: "Don't worry, the plan is still the same." With this message, Chen Wei's heart was a little relieved, but the nervousness in his heart couldn't be completely relieved. Triangular Eyes was already past the age of being impulsive, but this time, he didn't know why, but he had an inexplicable impulse to prove himself in front of these two guys. In the past, he definitely wouldn't have done this, but today, he had to use this method to solve the problem. Han Yen didn't expect things to turn out this way. She was a little worried, but she wasn't worried about her own safety. She was worried about the safety of Su Yun and Lin Gu. After all, this place was Triangular Eyes territory. People who were involved with drugs were all outlaws, so it was needless to say how dangerous it was. There was no doubt that these people were all armed. Han Yen was afraid that Su Yun's actions would provoke Triangular Eyes. If Triangular Eyes suddenly turned hostile and did something dangerous, it would be Su Yun who would be at a disadvantage. "Let's not be like this. This is my business. Brothers, I'm begging you. Don't hurt your relationship because of me." Han Yen just wanted to put the danger on herself. Although it was dangerous to go out and trade, it was only her who would be in danger. No, they have made it very clear. If I don't do something a man should do, then what is the point? Triangular Eyes smiled and sat in front of Su Yun and Lin Gu. "The thing I hate most in my life is people who like to show off in front of me." "But." "No buts." Triangular Eyes directly interrupted Han Yen. "No one can change what I have decided." Lin Gu heard Triangular Eyes' insinuations and slammed the table hard. "What do you mean? Who is showing off in front of who? Are you talking about me? Okay, then I will let you see if the people you are talking about can do anything to you." Triangular Eyes didn't seem to care about Lin Gu. In his mind, this kind of person was a small person. There were too many small people in this society. They had a little power, a little background, a little ability, a little connection, and then they didn't know what their surname was. This kind of person was the most arrogant in society. When they saw people who thought they were not as good as them, they would put themselves on a pedestal, as if this could make them a master. And this kind of person was very popular in today's society, because more and more people bullied the weak and feared the strong. More and more people were willing to flatter the rich and powerful. And this kind of guy with a little bit of strength would often be able to act as if he had some great strength. In this case, most people could be frightened by this kind of person. Triangular Eyes had seen too many of this kind of person, so he especially didn't like this kind of person. And now Lin Gu was acting like this kind of person in front of him. This kind of person made Triangular Eyes feel disgusted from the bottom of his heart, which was why he had to teach these two guys a lesson today. Lin Gu didn't know that he had played his role into such a real pretentious peddler. If Lin Gu knew, he definitely wouldn't act like this. He would definitely change the way he acted. This kind of acting didn't suit his identity, and he hated this kind of person the most. "Your place hasn't been open for many days. Do you think I don't know?" Lin Gu spat. "Do you know why my brother and I came here to drink? It's because we know too many people on Qingdao, so we are annoyed wherever we go. No one knows about your newly opened small business. That's why we're here. It's all for the sake of peace. Do you understand? Yeah, it's really peaceful. The triangular-eyed man said, It's a pity that you can't stop now even though you could have stopped. You're the ones who brought all these troubles upon yourselves. TSK, fine. We asked for it. Lin Gu said, Then I want to see how happy you can be. Triangular Eyes signaled his men to open a bottle of wine and pour him a glass. He raised the glass and said lightly, Don't worry, but I promise I won't let you down. If you have patience, wait for an hour. If you don't have patience, I'm afraid you will have to wait for an hour. An hour? Lin Gu was annoyed when he heard it. He looked like he was going to flip the table. Are you F***king playing with us? Only a fool has time to waste an hour with you here. F***CKU, I don't have time to wait. Su Yun also cooperated with Lin Gu. He stood up and pulled Han Yener up. Let's go. Don't waste time with this kind of people. It's boring. None of you can leave today. Triangular Eyes finally spoke. When he threw the glass in his hand on the ground and broke it, his men, who were ready, all took out the guns they had secretly prepared. The black muzzles of the guns were all aimed at Su Yun and Lin Gu. Triangular Eye's hometown produced guns, so Su Yun and Lin Gu were not surprised at all that they had guns on them. Almost all of them were Black Stars Type 5s. Han Yener's heart was in her throat. Although it was a reasonable thing to do, seeing so many guns, she couldn't help but feel nervous. Chapter 3478. Although Su Yun and Lin Gu were already mentally prepared, and with their experience, they wouldn't be afraid of such a situation. However, due to their identity settings, they still had to act as if their lives were in danger. Lin Ji's forehead was sweating. You don't have to go that far. Is it? Triangle Eyes sneered. Friend, you don't have to go that far, do you? Su Yun said in a cautious tone, You don't want to scare me with some toys, do you? If you don't believe me, you can stand up and try walking out. Triangle Eyes sneered. Now you think of me as a friend? I was just a dog in your eyes. If you call a dog your friend, doesn't that make you a dog too? Han Yener's nervousness was not faked. Let's not do this. Peace breeds wealth. You are a businessman. If you really fight, how can you continue to do business in the future? They don't know what kind of business I do. Don't you know? Triangle Eyes said with disdain. Do you want to tell them now, or let them see for themselves later? Don't be like this. Han Yener said carefully. I will go with you. You tell me where to trade. This is my place. I want to trade here. No one can order me around. Triangle Eyes said, Even if they know what I do, so what? Without someone like me, where can they go to find excitement? Lin Gu looked at Han Yener with fear in his eyes. What does he do? Han Yener looked at Triangle Eyes with a questioning look. Tell him it doesn't matter. Triangle Eyes said, If you can't say it, then I will. Seeing Su Yun and Lin Ji's obedient appearance, the triangular-eyed man felt a sense of satisfaction that he had never felt before. Ever since he had fallen from grace, he hadn't felt the satisfaction of being feared by others for a long time. Maybe this was a kind of spiritual enjoyment. After running to Qingdao, he had been trying to find that feeling again. That feeling of being able to make people kneel on the ground and lick their shoes with just one look, but he had always been missing something. This time, it was different. This time, he could trample on these two guys so happily. It was all to make up for the mental pressure he had been under during this period. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have anything good to add to the fun when you play with her. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have the good stuff to quench your thirst when you feel like 10,000 ants gnawing at your bones. The triangular-eyed man said, Think about what I mean to you. You are. Su Yun and Lin Gu both widened their eyes and looked at Triangle Eyes in shock. They didn't believe it at all. The triangular-eyed man got the happiness he wanted from their gazes. That's right, I am. You guessed it right. Lin Gu cursed in his heart. I thought you were an idiot. Brother, stop fooling around. This isn't something to joke about. Ha ha ha. We can fool around and mess around, but it won't be fun at all if we make such a big joke. Soo-yun's laughter was somewhat bitter. It's not fun to make a big joke, especially for people like me who don't like to joke. The triangular-eyed man said, I can tell you without hesitation that the brothers who work for me and those who make a living in this industry all have several lives in their hands. So, no one cares if they have one more life in their hands. Didn't you say you were a loan shark? Lin Gu stared at Han Yen. How could you? Brother, I didn't want to lie to you. I just didn't dare to say it. I didn't come here today to pay back the money. I have never borrowed money from a loan shark. Han Yen lowered her head and said, No loan shark would lend money to a woman like me who has nothing. I came here to buy goods from them. Lin Gu stared at Han Yen angrily and said, It's our fault for being nosy. What happened today was a misunderstanding. We don't care about you anymore. We can't do anything about it. Let's go now. Go. Where are you going? Triangle Eyes snorted. Lin Gu took a deep breath and put on an apologetic look. Big brother, we have eyes but fail to recognize Mount Tai. Today's matter is a complete misunderstanding. We didn't mean to offend you. It's just that we know her and wanted to help her. If we knew this would happen, no one would be so stupid as to seek trouble for themselves. Brother, did I hear you right? Did you call me that? Triangle Eyes said in a provocative tone. Yes. Lin Gu admitted it quickly. Brother, this is indeed a misunderstanding. Su-yun said, If I had known earlier, I definitely wouldn't have disturbed your business. This matter is really… Ha ha ha, we've gotten to know each other out of Discord. In the future, everyone will know each other. If we want to get some goods, we will have acquaintances. Don't you think so, brother? Triangle Eyes wasn't going to give them face. Do you think anyone can buy my goods? You want to pretend to be a big shot in front of me? Brother, what do you think we should do? Give us a chance to make it up to you. That's not too much to ask, right? Lin Gu said carefully, Who doesn't make mistakes in life? Brother, can you give us a chance? At this time, Triangle Eyes people came back to get the goods. They said they were going to get the goods, but in fact, they were going to drive around with the goods in the van. Chen Wei arranged 6 groups of people to follow them in 6 different cars. But in the end, he didn't expect them to circle around and come back. At this time, Chen Wei realized that this guy was more cunning than he thought. Of course, Chen Wei was sure that the goods Han Yen wanted were all in the van. Triangle Eyes saw his people come back and gave them a look. 2 of them went to stand guard at the door. The door of the bar was closed. They weren't doing business that day. There weren't any customers here anyway. A bag of Ma-gu chips was thrown on the table. There were 20 chips inside. Then, a bag of blue ice was thrown over. Triangle Eyes knocked on the table. I've prepared all the goods you asked for. This is one of them. There are 100 more in the car. How many do you want? 10, 20, or more? Han Yen took a deep breath. When she saw the blue ice, she couldn't control the light in her eyes. I want all of it. Han Yen asked for an exorbitant price. Triangle Eyes laughed. You want all of it? I don't think the money in your bag is enough. Han Yen put down the bag. There's enough money for 10. Then I'm afraid I can only give you 10. Triangle Eyes said, This business doesn't allow credit. Don't you know the rules? Of course I know the rules. Since I want all of it, I'll give you all of it. Han Yen said, The rest of your goods are in the van. My money is also in the van. According to our price, 1 serving is 50,000. 20 Ma-gu chips and 1 gram of blue ice per serving. 100 servings is 5 million. Triangle eyes flashed. You have 5 million in the van? I'm here to do business, Han Yen said. But have you ever thought about the fact that there are 2,000 pieces of Ma-gu here? That's not a small number. Triangle Eyes smiled. If I'm not mistaken, what you want is the blue ice. You don't have to worry about that. I have a lot of friends on Piano Island. I know at least 80 of them. Han Yen said, I'm sure it won't be difficult for me to sell 2,000 Ma-gu chips. Hearing this, the triangular-eyed man's heart suddenly brightened. He was relieved. Because in addition to the goods in his van, what I brought to Piano Island was much more than that. These goods were only 1/10 of what I brought. He didn't expect Han Yen to have the ability to distribute goods, which was great news for him. Ha ha ha. I like to do business with people like you. Here's the car key, Han Yen said. The money is in the trunk. It's too heavy. I can't carry that much. You can ask someone to count the money. If I'm not wrong, I'll take a look at the goods in your van. I trust you about the money. Triangle Eyes took the car key from Han Yen and threw it to one of his men. Go get the money and the goods. Be quick and be careful. Yes. Triangle Eyes' men all became serious. After all, this was a big deal that was far beyond their imagination. Just as his boss had said, once this kind of deal was done once, there would be a second time, and a third time. This kind of big deal didn't need to be done a few times, and they could earn millions or even more. Chapter 3479. No one would say no to money, so Triangle Eyes' men were very careful. They took the money and the goods to Triangle Eyes and Han Yen as fast as they could. It was the first time Han Yen had seen so much poison. To be honest, she was shocked. 2,000 Ma-gu, hundreds of grams of blue ice. That was enough to kill Triangle Eyes several times. And that was not all he had. He was cunning enough to prepare the goods and hide them inside the door panels of the car. This made Chen Wei miss the opportunity to track them down. But it didn't matter. As long as he could catch all of them, he believed he could find someone who would tell him the truth. Triangle Eyes was so cunning that it gave Chen Wei a headache. Team Leader 2 of the Narcotics Investigation Team had wasted so much effort but still failed to find the drug den. It showed how cautious Triangle Eyes was. Triangular Eye didn't have much of a reaction when millions of cash were piled up in front of him, but his subordinates couldn't help it. They hadn't seen such a large sum of money for a long time. The small fights after coming to Qingdao almost drove them crazy. Tens of thousands of yuan worth of goods in one night was simply too little for so many of them. Although Triangle Eyes was generous to them, the amount that fell into his hands was pitifully small. But this business was millions of dollars. The boss must be happy today, and everyone would get a lot of money. The triangular-eyed man's expression became a little more complacent, as if he was telling his subordinates, "See, this is the benefit of following me. Follow me and you will always have meat to eat. I don't need any of it." Triangle Eyes smiled at Han Yen and said, "I'm a businessman, and I value integrity the most. I don't need to count the money. I believe this won't be the last time we work together. And you won't trick me." "Of course I won't," Han Yen said lightly. "Actually, we can work together." Triangle Eyes smiled. "I have the goods, and you have the money. If you get Ma-gu from me, I will give you 200 less for each piece." As he spoke, Triangle Eyes began to count the money in the pile of cash. 2,000 yuan is the market price now, but it's getting harder and harder to get the goods. So when people can't take it anymore, they'd rather buy it for 3,000 to 5,000 yuan. Therefore, this is a very popular item. I believe you are also very clear about this, right? Triangle Eyes continued, "If you can get the goods from me at a low price, with the backing of the customers around you, I believe that it won't be long before you won't be interested in the little inheritance left to you by the old man after he died." By the time he finished speaking, Triangle Eyes had already counted out 40 stacks of $100 bills. "This time, I'll sell it to you at a price of 200 yuan lower than the market price on Qingdao." Triangle Eyes smiled. "I'm a very honest person when it comes to making friends. Take this 400,000 back." Han Yen froze. This guy was talking business with her. This. Han Yen didn't know what to say. "I know you're worried that these two fellows saw our deal." Triangle Eye's smile was a bit cold. It doesn't matter. I'll make sure they never have the chance to say what they saw tonight, because they won't have the chance to see the sun tomorrow. Triangle Eyes wanted to kill. He also wanted to use this method to prove to Han Yen that it was safe to do business with him. Even if he killed someone, the police wouldn't be able to find him. He had the means, he had the ability. Su Yun and Lin Guo also realized that it was about time. Now that they had been caught red-handed, what were they waiting for? Triangle Eye's men had already been deceived by Su Yun and Lin Ge's slightly fearful acting. They didn't even think that the two would dare to resist. In the end, in the blink of an eye, Su Yun got up and fiercely hit the guy who was pointing a gun at the back of his head with his elbow. The guy who was still talking cheerfully a second ago was now bleeding from his mouth and nose, and the bones in his face were probably broken. At the same time, Lin Gu lowered his head and grabbed the wrist of the guy behind him who was holding the gun. He suddenly stood up and threw the guy over his shoulder. This guy was really unlucky. His lower back hit the edge of the table, and he probably wouldn't be able to walk for the rest of his life. In the blink of an eye, the two men were flipped over. Chen Wei, who heard the chaos in the bar through the microphone, immediately gave an order. "Move out now." Things became lively. After Su Yun and Lin Gu took care of the two men, they didn't stay idle. There were still 3 men with guns. Su Yun and Lin Gu took care of one each. Before the last man could pull the trigger, Han Yen raised the bag on the table and smashed it on his head. The guy who was smashed turned around angrily, but Su Yun put him to the ground with a choke hold. Everything happened too fast, so fast that Triangle Eyes didn't even have time to react. When his men were knocked down one after another, Triangle Eyes suddenly realized that these two fellows definitely weren't the small fries he had speculated they were. It was impossible for a small fry like him to have such skills and reaction speed. There must be a trap. At that moment, the police broke in. One by one, the fully armed special forces rushed in with guns. At this moment, the triangular-eyed man finally understood that he had been tricked. He had been tricked by an ice-cold girl. Triangle Eye's reaction speed was quite fast. He took out the pistol at his waist and fired a few shots like a headless fly. Then, he turned around and fled. This kind of old fox's reaction speed was unparalleled. In the blink of an eye, he had escaped into the bar. Lin Gu and the special forces chased after him without hesitation. Su Yun's feet seemed to be nailed to the ground. When Triangle Eyes fired, Han Yen stood in front of Su Yun without a care for her own safety. The bullet hit Han Yen's thin body. Han Yen's legs went soft and she was about to fall. Fortunately, Su Yun reacted quickly and caught her. Then, Su Yun saw the blood seeping out of her back. "Chief Chen. Ambulance. Arrange an ambulance for me." Su Yun knew that Han Yen was being monitored, so he shouted, "She's been shot. It's critical. She needs emergency treatment." Chen Wei heard the news and immediately made arrangements. The ambulance was on standby before the operation. When they were on the mission, they were very sure that this group of desperados had guns and ammunition. What surprised Chen Wei was that it was Han Yen who was injured. If it were the Special Forces soldiers, it would be better. After all, they were fully armed and had bulletproof vests. Their physical fitness was much better. Han Yen was a girl, and her physical fitness was not good enough. How could she survive? More importantly, Han Yen was Korean. If there was an accident, things would become more complicated. Su Yun carefully picked up Han Yen and encouraged her, "Don't sleep. Don't worry. It's just a little painful. You'll be fine. The ambulance will be here soon. I promise you'll be safe." At this time, Su Yun did not have time to care about Triangle Eyes. Lin Gu was there, and he had informed Cho Yun in advance. All of Triangle Eye's men in the bar were detained by the criminal police. At this time, the ambulance came as fast as it could. Su Yun took Han Yen directly to the hospital. He did not have time to care about the rest. As long as Triangular Eyed could successfully escape and Cho Yen could follow him, with Cho Yan's level, it would not be so easy for Triangular Eyed to see through her. She would definitely be able to complete her mission perfectly. Su Yun had enough people he could trust, so he did not have so much pressure in his heart. The only thing he was worried about was Han Yen-er's gunshot wound. It seemed to be a little serious. Because at this time, the emergency medical personnel in the ambulance had already begun to put on an oxygen mask for her. They began to test her blood quality and blood type as quickly as possible. Then, they began to find the corresponding blood bags and began to transfuse blood. At this time, Su Yun began to realize that Han Yen-er was losing blood too fast. He could not help but worry. After all, the gunshot had hit her back. Although it did not penetrate, it would be very dangerous if the heart was hurt. Even if there was no direct damage, the surgery would be very dangerous because of this. Su Yun could not help but swallow. He began to worry about Han Yen-er's situation. Chapter 3480. The speed of Triangle Eye's escape was definitely a role model in their industry. The path he escaped seemed to have been specially designed by him in the bar. While running, this bastard was pulling things left and right as obstacles. With slow movements of his left and right hands, the originally narrow passageway was messed up. The decorative paintings on the wall, the vases and dried branches by the passageway, and all kinds of messy things that could be pulled over were used by him. Even Lin Ge had a hard time chasing after him, not to mention the SWAT officers with more equipment. It was even more inconvenient to chase in such a narrow passageway. Either someone's clothes were caught by dry branches or someone's gun belt was caught by something. They stumbled all the way. In the end, only Lin Ge was able to successfully chase Triangle Eyes out of a small inner door at the back of the bar. After all, Chen Wei had given the order to let Triangle Eyes go, so they just had to put on a show. Lin Ge chased after him to make sure that Cho Yun could keep up. As long as Cho Yun appeared and caught up with him, he could rest assured. Although Triangle Eye's legs were not long enough, they were really fast. When he ran, smoke came out from under his feet. This speed was really beyond Lin Ge's expectations. Lin Ge chased after him with big strides for an entire street and finally found Cho Yun, who had been following him in the dark. Lin Ge began to slow down, but he didn't stop talking. "You motherfucker, stop right there. I'm telling you, even if you can escape today, you won't be able to escape from Qingdao." This threat was a warning to Triangle Eyes to escape as soon as possible. Only when he panicked and only thought about escaping as soon as possible, he wouldn't pay attention to the details around him. This way, Cho Yun's job would be easier, and she wouldn't be easily exposed. Lin Ge finally gave up the chase. After running for more than 10 kilometers, the triangular-eyed man finally dared to breathe a sigh of relief. At this time, he had already run to the bustling Tai-tong pedestrian street of Qingdao. Although the weather was cold, there were still many people setting up stalls and shopping on the pedestrian street. There were many people in this place. Even if there were eyes following them, Triangle Eyes was confident that he could shake off the other party in the endless stream of people. Unfortunately, he bumped into Cho Yun. Not only was Cho Yun a stranger to him, but more importantly, Cho Yun's appearance in the night market on the pedestrian street didn't seem out of place at all. The entire pedestrian street in Taitung was filled with young and beautiful girls. Regardless of whether they were locals or foreigners, all the girls living in Qingdao seemed to have the habit of coming here to shop. Of course, this might be excluding the daughters of rich families. Basically, all the girls from ordinary families liked this place. Therefore, many perverted young men also liked to squeeze into the pedestrian street when there were many people. It was much safer to take advantage of girls here than on the bus. In a situation where his eyes were full of girls, Triangle Eyes didn't notice Cho Yun's existence at all. However, Cho Yun could determine where Triangle Eyes was every minute. No matter where he appeared, the girls around her would have an abnormal reaction. Nowadays, girls had a very strong sense of protection. If they found this kind of man squeezing into the pedestrian street alone, they would definitely raise their guard. Therefore, as long as there was a disturbance caused by a girl's vigilance, it would definitely be a target point that Cho Yun couldn't miss. With this, Cho Yun could effortlessly follow Triangle Eyes' fleeing footsteps. Triangle Eyes circled the pedestrian street several times. After he was completely relieved, he walked out of the pedestrian street. After walking out of the pedestrian street, Triangle Eyes directly ran to the bus stop. After a few simple glances, he made a decision in his heart. Soon, a Route 2 bus appeared, and Triangle Eyes directly walked on it. Cho Yun went forward and looked at the route of Route 2 bus. She directly confirmed Triangle Eyes' thoughts. This guy was going to the train station. Then, Cho Yun took a taxi and went directly to the train station. When the taxi overtook the bus, Cho Yun signaled the driver to slow down. She said that she was a little carsick. In fact, it was to be able to observe the bus through the rearview mirror, in case Triangle Eyes changed his mind midway. The taxi driver's attitude was also very good. He immediately followed Cho Yun's instructions. If it was in the past, his attitude might not be so good. After all, it was not easy for most drivers to come out. They all had to rush to work. It was not easy to run out late at night on such a cold day. They all wanted to finish one job quickly so that they could do the next one. But now, their attitude was better and they were not in a hurry. It was completely because the strike a few days ago did not end. Now, the service attitude of the entire taxi industry was really much better than before. Only good service could be exchanged for good understanding. In this way, Cho Yun arrived at the train station one step ahead of Triangle Eyes. Triangle Eyes obviously did not hesitate midway. He got off at the bus stop next to the train station. Because Cho Yun arrived at the train station before Triangle Eyes, naturally, she would not be suspected by Triangle Eyes. Triangle Eyes suspected that there might be people following behind him. Therefore, Cho Yun was not in his range of concern at all. Cho Yun pretended to be making a phone call. When she bought the ticket, Cho Yun did not hesitate. Because she knew very well that Triangle Eyes was not thinking about where she was going at all. He was thinking about the next train that would depart immediately. Therefore, Cho Yun did not hesitate to buy the bus that would depart in 5 minutes. She was right about Triangle Eyes' psychology. As expected, Triangle Eyes bought the bus that would leave Qingdao as soon as possible. Although the bus was heading north, he got on without any hesitation. After getting on the bus, Cho Yun's mission was basically completed. So far, Triangle Eyes did not suspect Cho Yun at all. After Cho Yun remembered Triangle Eyes' seat, there was no big problem. She just needed to pay attention to where Triangle Eyes would get off at any time. She believed that Triangle Eyes wouldn't sit too far away, nor would he sit too close. Cho Yun, who took guagua to avoid being hunted in the past, was very experienced. She guessed Triangle Eyes' intention clearly and completely saw through him. As expected, Triangle Eyes got off after 3 stops. He knew very well that if he wanted to escape to the south safely, he had to change a few more buses along the way. At this time, Cho Yun would deliberately avoid buying a ticket. She had to wait for Triangle Eyes to buy a ticket before she could buy one. Now, there was no way to guess where Triangle Eyes would buy a ticket to. After all, they were out of the danger zone of Qingdao at this time. Moreover, if Triangle Eyes noticed that she was following them now, the mission would fail. This was the real test for Cho Yun. Cho Yun also became serious. After confirming Triangle Eyes' itinerary, Cho Yun saw that the train would depart in half an hour, so she bought a hat and a scarf at the nearest store as fast as she could to change her appearance. After all, there was still a long way to go. Cho Yun had to be serious and vigilant from now on. People in Triangle Eyes' line of work were very good at anti-reconnaissance. If she was not careful, she would be very likely to be discovered by him. Cho Yun did not stop contacting Su Yun. She kept in touch with Su Yun and informed him of the latest situation. This could also make Su Yun feel more at ease. After receiving these messages, Su Yun was even more relieved about Cho Yun. He told Cho Yun not to act rashly and to be careful. He would soon go to find her. Now, Su Yun's biggest headache was Han Yen-er, who was in the emergency room. After such a thing happened, Su Yun felt very depressed. He had to think that if something happened to Han Yen-er, he would blame himself for the rest of his life. Han Yen-er had no responsibility at all. She did what she did for the police in Huaxia, but she did it without hesitation. After Chen Wei finished arranging the tasks, he rushed to the hospital as soon as possible. He felt that he was the most responsible for this matter. For Chen Wei, he blamed himself even more than Su Yun. "I'm sorry." Chen Wei quietly walked to Su Yun's side and patted Su Yun's shoulder. "No matter how big the responsibility is, I will bear it. Director Chen, this has nothing to do with you. I am the main person responsible for this. Su Yun, I was too naive at the time. I used her. This has nothing to do with the police. Director Chen, you don't have to blame yourself or take responsibility for this. This is my own problem. I will solve it myself." "But, sigh." Chen Wei let out a heavy sigh. "However, if I can't do anything about it, I'll feel bad." Su Yun raised his head and looked at the emergency room. "Then, like me, pray and believe in the doctor's skills." Chapter 3481. Fortunately, the result of the rescue did not disappoint Su Yun and Chen Wei. The bullet almost took Han Yen-er's life, and the place where it hit was particularly dangerous. Fortunately, the gun was less threatening than a normal Type 54. Perhaps it was a defective copy of the Black Star. Although the bullet hit Han Yen-er's back, it didn't really hurt her heart. Because of the timely rescue and the timely blood transfusion, Han Yen-er was able to get through the ordeal without being hurt. Although Han Yen-er had fallen into a deep sleep, the medical equipment monitored her body's various functions and conditions had returned to normal. Her heartbeat was normal, so the doctor was sure that Han Yen-er only needed to sleep for a while to wake up. After hearing this, Chen Wei was relieved. "Director Chen, you can rest assured now. Go do your work." Su Yun said, "I'll take care of things here. We still need to hurry up and interrogate those people and find where they hid the drugs." "Okay, then I'll go back and check on the situation. Thank you for your hard work here." Chen Wei nodded. He came to the hospital because he felt guilty, but his heart was in another place. After all, they had only just arrested a person for this case, and there were many things that had yet to be solved. Su Yun smiled and gestured for Chen Wei to get back to work. Only then did Chen Wei quickly leave the hospital. Lin Gu stepped forward and patted Su Yun on the shoulder. "Brother, go back and rest. I'll keep an eye on things here. I'll call you when Han Yen-er wakes up." "No, you go home first. Don't let Feng Ye worry about you." Su Yun said, "I'm fine. When you pass by Sky Entertainment on your way back, tell little Yi not to worry. Tell her to go home and sleep early. These past few nights have been exhausting for her." Lin Gu did not do as he said. "Isn't it better if you pick her up? I told Feng Ye today, and she went to work the night shift. I'll be fine at home. The first person Han Yen-er wants to see when she wakes up will be me. If it's not me, she will be very disappointed." Su Yun lowered his head and said, "I owe Han Yen-er too much, so I hope I can make it up to her." Lin Gu knew that Su Yun had already made up his mind. "Then I'll leave first, brother." "Go ahead." Su Yun waved his hand without raising his head. Han Yen-er was all alone in Huaxia. She didn't even have an aunt who only used her as a tool to make money. Su Yun was probably the only person who was important to her, so Su Yun wouldn't leave her. Lin Gu ran to the hotel and told Bai Xiaoye about the matter before returning home. Bai Xiaoye was relieved to hear that the matter was over. Although she felt sorry for Han Yen-er, she was more glad that Su Yun and Lin Gu were not hurt. Although Bai Xiaoye's thoughts made her feel uncomfortable, it was the true portrayal of her heart. Bai Xiaoye returned home with some melancholy. She had just washed up and put on a face mask when she heard a car coming back. When Bai Xiaoye walked to the door, Ruan Qingxuang had already opened the door with the key. Seeing Ruan Qingxuang, Bai Xiaoye jumped into her arms excitedly. Ruan Qingxuang heard that there was no one else in the room, so she smiled and said, "You're home alone? You look so pitiful." Bai Xiaoye nodded and grumbled as she helped Ruan Qingxuang take the things in her hands. They were all brought back from her hometown. Every time Ruan Qingshuang went home to see her parents, she would bring some things back. Although they were all grains and weren't worth much, it was a gift from her parents. Ruan Qingshuang especially liked to use the things she brought back from her parents' home to cook porridge for everyone. It was made by her parents, and there were no chemicals or pesticides. Therefore, these things were Ruan Qingshuang's favorite, and they were the most comfortable for everyone to eat. Ruan Qingshuang and Bai Xiaoye packed up the things from the car and listened to Bai Xiaoye talk about what had happened in the past few days. Ruan Qingshuang was very surprised. She didn't expect Su Yun to encounter such a troublesome situation. Then why didn't you call me to come back earlier? Ruan Qingshuang complained. Bai Xiaoye said embarrassedly, I wanted to call you as soon as my brother came back, but he didn't let me. He said you were so busy, and it was rare for you to come home for a few days to spend time with your parents. He didn't want to disturb you, so you could spend some time with your parents. Ruan Qingshuang was a little touched. When she was busy, she really didn't have time to go home. Therefore, she took the opportunity to go home for 10 days. Although there were still some calls to ask her how to deal with it, it was much easier for her to do things over the phone. Ruan Qingshuang never thought she could handle so many things at the same time. However, working at Sky Entertainment Group had really trained her. She was basically used to dealing with so many things at the same time. Moreover, she really admired Zhuo Meiyan. Even if there were more than 10 things to deal with at the same time, Zhuo Meiyan was always able to distinguish the priorities in a short time and solve all the problems step by step. This was something Ruan Qingshuang needed to learn for a long time. After Ruan Qingshuang and Bai Xiaoye packed up their things, she asked Bai Xiaoye which hospital Su Yun was in. Bai Xiaoye said that when Lin Gu told her, she was thinking about her brother, so she forgot about it. In the end, Ruan Qingshuang called Lin Gu and asked for the hospital's location. Lin Gu was relieved when he heard that Qingshuang was back. Now, there was someone who could take care of Su Yun. It was already late at night. Su Yun stood by the window of the hospital staircase and lit a cigarette. He smoked silently, one cigarette after another, just like that. Suddenly, someone patted his shoulder gently. I knew you would smoke here. This is a hospital. Smoking is forbidden. When did you come back? Su Yun turned his head in surprise and looked at Ruan Qingshuang behind him. If it wasn't for the cold wind blowing through the window, he would have thought that he was dreaming. I just came back. Ruan Qingshuang smiled. Why didn't you rest at home? Why did you come here? Su Yun said, Xiao Yi is really too much. She told you everything. If she didn't tell me about such a big thing, she would be immature. Ruan Qingshuang said, I just wanted to see how you were doing. Don't be too tired. This is some porridge that I made for you at home. Have some. Su Yun took the porridge from Ruan Qingshuang with a smile. I'm really hungry. This porridge came at the right time. You were just busy dealing with things. You probably didn't even have time to eat. Ruan Qingshuang said, How is the girl inside now? There's no danger. Su Yun nodded. I'm really sorry for her. There's no other way. Maybe this is fate. Ruan Qingshuang shook her head helplessly. If this girl can survive safely, I think you should really do something to make it up to her. She's Korean, and she's also a drug addict. Su Yun had a headache when he thought of this. I discussed with Chief Chen before. We said that after the matter was over, we would send her back to Korea. After all, at that time, you definitely didn't think that she would become like this today, right? Ruan Qingshuang said. Su Yun nodded. Yes, at that time, of course, I didn't think of the current situation. If it's now, if I still insist on doing that, wouldn't I be a bastard who burns the bridge after crossing the river and kills the donkey after it has outlived its usefulness? That's kind of what you mean, although I know that's not what you think. Ruan Qingshuang smiled bitterly. But if you really do that, I'll probably be the first to scold you. As a girl, she has sacrificed too much for this kind of thing. It's really too much. That's why I don't want to be a bastard who kills the donkey after it has outlived its usefulness. Su Yun, How do you think I should deal with this matter? Follow your heart and do it. Ruan Qingxuang said faintly, we all know that you always have a very accurate way of dealing with things. I also believe that Chen Wei can understand all your decisions, so you don't need to feel any pressure. Just do what you think in your heart. Su Yun looked at Ruan Qingxuang affectionately. Fortunately, you're back. Ruan Qingxuang knew that her words must have changed Su Yun's mind. The kind of wrong decision that was made because of excessive adherence to principles. Chapter 3482. Ruan Qingxuang was the calmest harbor for Su Yun. Su Yun seemed to be the most relaxed and calm only in front of Ruan Qingxuang. You can rest assured and do what you should do. I will arrange it for you after she wakes up. Ruan Qingxuang said, the girl who is willing to stand up in such a dangerous thing is kind in her heart. Maybe she does a lot of things wrong. But as long as she has enough time, I believe she will be able to find her true self. I am worried about things like drug addiction. Maybe it is possible that she can't get rid of it in her life. Su Yun shook his head helplessly. People who were addicted to drugs would be ruined in their life. Bloody examples floated through Su Yun's mind. Su Yun found it hard to have this confidence. It is very difficult. Maybe it is impossible to get rid of it in her life. Ruan Qingxuang nodded. But if you don't try and give up, isn't it too cruel for her? At least give her a chance. Su Yun looked at Ruan Qingxuang and didn't speak for a long time. If she pays so much and doesn't even get a chance back, it is really a pity for her. Ruan Qingxuang said, you can rest assured. I will help her contact the best drug rehabilitation center in the country. I will find a relationship to let the best drug rehabilitation experts help her. She will like to stay in Huaxia. Su Yun smiled slightly. Of course, she works so hard for such a chance to stay. Ruan Qingxuang said seriously, I know you have your principles, but I absolutely don't want you to do this kind of thing. It is unfair to her. Okay, then I will listen to you. You will arrange this matter. Su Yun nodded. Ruan Qingxuang smiled. Don't worry. Leave it to me. You can rest assured. Su Yun felt as if a huge rock had been lifted from his heart. Only then did he remember that Ruan Qingxuang had just returned from a long journey. She did not even have time to rest before coming to the hospital to look for him. He said with some heartache, you should quickly go home and rest. It's already so late. I'm not tired. I've been resting at home for so many days. I've gained 2 pounds. Ruan Qingxuang's expression had a trace of self-blame and annoyance. It's all my fault for not being able to control my mouth. I can eat a lot of food every day at home. Then I really hope that you can go home and rest when you have nothing to do. You're so busy in the company every day, and you haven't had a good rest. Su Yun said, it must be because Mom and Dad see that you're haggard and thin, so they make all kinds of delicious food for you every day to nourish you. Although Su Yun said, Mom and Dad, very calmly, Ruan Qingxuang had a completely different feeling when she heard it. Ruan Qingxuang looked at Su Yun with a smile. Then I'll go back first. Don't be too tired in the hospital. Okay. I'll walk you downstairs. Su Yun stood up and said. Ruan Qingxuang was a reasonable person. She knew that the person Han Yen wanted to see the most when she woke up was Su Yun. And Su Yun should stand by Han Yen-er's side when she woke up, which was the best comfort for her. Only when Han Yen-er felt that Su Yun cared about her could she not give up on herself. Only when she chose not to give up on herself could her life have meaning. This was also why Su Yun insisted on staying by Han Yen-er's side. He knew that Han Yen-er needed to realize that someone really cared about her and cared about her. Even if it was just out of friendship or kindness, she needed such feelings to keep her going. Su Yun walked Ruan Qingxuang to the car. After watching the car leave, he lit another cigarette. After smoking a cigarette, Su Yun turned around and went upstairs. After a night of silence, Su Yun lay on the guest bed next to Han Yen-er's bed. Without realizing it, he closed his eyes and fell into a light sleep. At around 5 o'clock in the morning, Han Yen-er opened her weak eyes. All she could see was white, and she quickly realized the situation she was in. Just when Han Yen-er was about to call for help, she saw Su Yun on the guest bed. Su Yun's eyes were closed, and he looked tired. No matter how energetic a person was, after so many days of worry and tiredness, they would definitely be tired. Han Yen-er didn't want to wake Su Yun up, so she didn't say anything. Seeing the medical equipment next to her, she knew that she must have experienced a very dangerous night. For Su Yun-hui to stay by her side under such circumstances, Han Yen-er's heart was filled with gratitude. She didn't expect that someone would still care about her. Just like that, Han Yen-er lay in bed quietly for more than an hour. At 6:15, Su Yun opened his eyes. Because Su Yun woke up without warning, Han Yen-er didn't have time to avoid Su Yun's gaze. Their gazes collided in an instant. "When did you wake up?" Su Yun got up and said, "Why didn't you call me when you woke up?" Han Yen-er smiled and said, "You were too tired. I wanted you to rest more." "You are so silly. You should call the doctor as soon as you woke up. Do you know how dangerous it was yesterday? You almost died." Su Yun pressed the button to call the doctor as he spoke. A minute later, the doctor hurried over. After a simple examination, Han Yen-er was in good condition, but she still needed some time to recover from the gunshot wound. Su Yun was relieved. At this time, Su Yun received a message from Cho Yun again. It said that they had changed trains for the third time. This time, their destination was Guangzhou. Cho Yun thought that was probably their final destination. Su Yun asked Han Yen-er to be careful and told her that he was going to leave as soon as possible. At 8 o'clock, Ruan Qingxuang and Bai Xiaoye arrived at the hospital. Lin Gu didn't go to the company directly. Instead, he went to the hospital. Seeing that Han Yen-er had woken up, everyone was relieved. "This matter hasn't been completely solved yet. I need to go out," Su Yun said. "I'll leave this to you guys." "Don't worry, big brother. I'm here." Lin Gu nodded. "You guys be careful too. Who knows where that bastard went to find his backer?" Su Yun nodded. "Don't worry, I'll be careful. Take care of Cho Yun too. Although she's not as reckless as before, this matter is still dangerous," Ruan Qingxuang said. "I believe you can guarantee your safety." "Of course." Su Yun smiled. Han Yen-er looked at Su Yun with worry. "That man has a gun. He's very dangerous." "He's not a dangerous person. If it weren't for the fact that we wanted to find out who sent the goods, we wouldn't have let that bastard go on purpose." Su Yun smiled. "It's easy to catch him. With his ability, Cho Yun can beat him to the ground in 10 seconds. Han Yen-er knew that Su Yun said that to reassure her. Actually, triangular eyes were nothing to Su Yun and the others. The really dangerous people were the ones who could get the North American blue ice to the mainland through illegal channels. This kind of stuff was several times more profitable than ordinary drugs. Therefore, people who could control this kind of money-making resource were definitely more dangerous than ordinary drug dealers. And this kind of people deserved to die. Su Yun would never let them go. "Do you still need to talk to Director Chen?" Ruan Qingxuang asked. Su Yun nodded. "I'm going to talk to him. It's best if he can get in touch with the local police. Don't let the local police get involved in catching that bastard. If they catch him before the real snake comes, it'll be a loss. Then go. Don't worry about it, we'll take care of it," Ruan Qingxuang said. "Okay. Then I'll go." After Su Yun said that, he looked at Han Yen-er. Han Yen-er knew what Su Yun was worried about. "Don't worry, President Su. I'll do what I promised you. Now that it's over, I swear I won't touch those things again. From now on, even if I die, I won't touch those things." Su Yun smiled knowingly, then turned and left the hospital. On the other hand, Chen Wei was still interrogating the captured bastards. Those bastards were really stubborn. It had been an entire night, but they still refused to tell him where they hid the goods. Perhaps this group of people still had an unrealistic hope in their hearts, and that was to escape from here and get those goods to make a fortune. Chapter 3483. When Su Yun came to look for Chen Wei had just interrogated the most important subordinate of Triangle Eyes. Chen Wei couldn't get any useful information because of the stubborn guy. Su Yun saw Chen Wei's expression and knew that the situation wasn't optimistic. They still refused to talk? Yes, these guys are too stubborn. Because the batch of goods sold yesterday isn't dead evidence to them, they all insist that they're just employees and don't know what their boss is doing. Chen Wei sighed. Right now, they can't be sentenced without a confession, so they're very stubborn. Use some tricks. Su Yun, there's no need to be polite to these people. At least for us, they're drug dealers with conclusive evidence. These people won't be honest if we don't beat them. At this time, you don't have to adhere to those rules and regulations. I don't want to adhere to those rules either. I want to teach them a lesson. Chen Wei shook his head helplessly. But a normal lesson is useless against these bastards. If we beat them too hard, they'll be accused of torture. Now, even the police have to pay attention to public opinion. Because some rats have ruined the police's reputation, once we do something excessive, we may be crushed to death by public opinion on the internet. Su Yun couldn't help but smile bitterly. This was really a big problem for the police now. He didn't know when the reputation of the police was ruined because of some bastards who didn't do anything proper. So now, whenever there was a little news, the public would basically accuse the police of abusing their power. So now, it was difficult for many people who were really doing things. If they did things properly, they might be accused of abusing their power, but if they didn't use their power, they couldn't do things properly. This is easy. Su Yun, leave it to me, I'll do something to them. No, if you hurt someone, it'll be troublesome. Chen Wei said, once there's a wound, we'll easily fall into a passive position. There won't be any injuries. I'm not that stupid. Su Yun smiled. I can't just let them carry on like that. Chen Wei saw that Su Yun had a request, so he agreed. He also wanted to see what good methods Su Yun had to make these bastards suffer. These bastards definitely wouldn't vomit if they didn't suffer. Under Chen Wei's lead, Su Yun arrived at the interrogation room where Triangle Eye's deputy was being interrogated. He waved his hand and gestured for two men to press down on Triangle Eye's deputy, forcing him to lean against the wall and sit on the ground with his legs spread apart. Beads of sweat appeared on the forehead of the triangular-eyed deputy. He was already in his 30s, so he definitely wouldn't be able to handle such a huge split. Take it slow. Don't rush. Take it slow. If you're too aggressive, he'll break it easily. As Su Yun guided them, he shared his experience. Just like this, break it bit by bit. As long as your movements are gentle enough, even if you straighten it, he won't have any visible injuries. At most, he'll walk like a trumpet for the rest of his life. If you can't detect any injuries, you can rest assured and break it for him. The deputy instantly broke out in cold sweat. Men didn't have the flexibility of women. When his legs were bent at a 90-degree angle, the pain was already unbearable. He wailed and screamed, wishing he could just kill himself. Where did you learn this trick? Chen Wei didn't know whether to laugh or cry. A friend I met a long time ago. He's also a police officer. This is all his tricks. Su Yun smiled. All right, Chief Chen, get someone to bring a basin of cold water and a floor fan. A high-powered one. Okay. Chen Wei immediately got someone to prepare it. Cold water and a floor fan. Su Yun used them on the second person. He directly poured a basin of cold water over the person's heart, then turned on the electric fan to blow at the person's clothes. It was called air drying. Just ask air-dried chickens and ducks how uncomfortable it was to be air-dried. Even if it was a basin of cold water and a strong wind in the middle of summer, it would still be unbearable. Su Yun also said, once the clothes are air-dried, get him another basin of water. Continue to blow at it. I don't believe it won't burn him to death. The police said that they couldn't hit people, so they didn't hit them. It wouldn't leave any injuries, and there was no violence involved. If this guy caught a cold and got sick and burned himself into a retard, the police wouldn't have anything to do with it. With this method of air drying, it was already very impressive for an average person to be able to withstand 2 waves of water. If the person really burned to a temperature of 40 degrees, they would basically be crippled. Su-Yun's tricks were able to leave no trace on a person's body. They were also able to make the person suffer unspeakably. With Su-Yun's crooked tricks, the people who were caught quickly couldn't hold on any longer. Of course, Su-Yun didn't have the time to wait for their results. After Su-Yun and Chen Wei briefly explained the current situation of Triangle Eyes, they directly drove away. He wanted to use the fastest speed to meet up with Cho-Yun. Now that the general location was almost confirmed, Su-Yun also had a more stable destination, so he chose to drive there. This way, it would be more convenient for him and Cho-Yun to move. After Su-Yun got on the highway, he dialed Chong's number. At this time, Chong had just arrived at the hotel to prepare for a busy day of work. When he received Su-Yun's call, he was very happy. "Brother Yun, do you have any instructions? Do you want to come to Shenzhen to have fun with us for a few days?" "I really want to go to Shenzhen to have fun with you guys, but time doesn't allow it." Su-Yun smiled. "How have you guys been recently? You must be quite busy." "Quite busy. We're so busy that we're under pressure." Chong nodded. Chairman Yi has put all his attention on the hotel. The hotel's business is getting more and more popular. Recently, he's preparing to open a top 3 high-end club in Shenzhen. It's so tiring. This is quite good. Su-Yun, it's better than letting you guys do nothing. Chongzi chuckled. That's a must. Su-Yun, during the summer, I heard from Qing Shuang that you introduced infantry to Chairman Yi to be his driver. Chong nodded. Chairman Yi wanted to find one himself. I suddenly thought of infantry, so I gave him a call. After all, we're all brothers in the past. Of course, I would think of him with such a good opportunity. There's no point in being an illegal driver in a small city for the rest of his life. Now that business is getting harder and harder to do, the checks are strict. He came to Shenzhen to work as a driver, but his annual salary is 200,000. That's quite good. Su-Yun smiled. However, I have something that I need the infantry to help me with. Go and talk to Boss Yi. Tell her that I want to borrow someone from her. Send the infantry to the highway in 4 hours. I'm already on the highway in Qingdao. Just send him to the first service area south of the Jingguang Highway. I'll be there in about 4 hours. Brother, what's the situation? Why are you suddenly looking for infantry? What did this kid do? Chong asked. Su-Yun smiled. What I need now is someone with experience in the water wheel business. The infantry went to the city of water wheels to pick up water wheels. I remember you and I talked about this before. Now that I have something to do there, I need to ask him for a little help. Okay, I got it, brother. I'll go and tell him now. I'll immediately bring him to the service area you specified and wait for you. Chong said. Don't worry. I estimate that I'll need about 4 hours to get there. Su-Yun said, you can calculate the time yourself. Okay. Chong nodded and immediately went to find someone. Su-Yun hung up the phone and continued to drive. About 10 minutes later, Chong's phone call came. Listening to his voice, he was quite frustrated. Brother Yun, there's something I have to tell you. What's wrong? He's not willing? Su-Yun was stunned. It's not that he's not willing. I said, Brother Yun, you're looking for him. Would he dare to be unwilling? Chong said, it's Chairman Yi. I'm looking for infantry to help you. Of course, I have to ask for leave from Chairman Yi first. Chairman Yi said as soon as she heard about this. Why don't you call her personally? If you don't call her, she won't believe you and won't agree to let infantry go with me. Su-Yun smiled bitterly. Okay, I got it. This woman's heart, sometimes it's really like a needle at the bottom of the sea. You can't find it no matter what. However, Su-yun really should call Yi-fala and tell her about this. After all, infantry was her driver now. He didn't know how many days it would take to borrow him. It was indeed inappropriate if he didn't say hello personally. Su-yun said in his heart that he was careless. Then, he hung up Chong's phone call and prepared to call Yi-fala to apologize. Chapter 34-84. Although Yi-fala blamed Su-yun, she had already ordered the infantry to prepare. If Su-yun wanted someone, she would definitely give it to him without hesitation. When Su-yun called, Yi-fala obviously did not have the attitude she had in front of Chong. I have already ordered the infantry to prepare. Don't worry, they will arrive on time. Yi-fala picked up the phone and directly gave Su-yun a reassurance. Su-yun was a little confused and asked tentatively, but just now, Chong said, "Don't listen to Chong's nonsense." Yi-fala betrayed Chong Zi without any hesitation. Poor Chong Zi didn't know what was going on at all. He was still in high spirits as he went to prepare with the infantry. Because Chong had not seen Su-yun for a long time, he naturally had a special feeling of gratitude to this person who changed his life. "Then I will have to thank you." Su-yun smiled and said, "When I am done with the matter, I will personally send him back to you. At that time, I will thank you properly. When you come back, I will give you a welcome dinner." Yi-fala said, "But no matter what you do, you must be careful. Don't get hurt." "Don't worry." Su-yun smiled slightly and said, "Then I will talk to you later. I am on the highway." And Yi-fala nodded. After hanging up the phone, she actually still had the heart of a young girl. This was the reason why she was fascinated by Su-yun. Su-yun was a man she could never understand, so she always had a strong attraction to him. Su-yun hung up the phone and sped up the car. It was estimated that not long later, Cho-yun would follow the triangular-eyed man to the destination. At that time, the situation would be a little more complicated. Su-yun just wanted to get there as soon as possible. Judging from the last message from Cho-yun and the location on the map, with Su-yun's current speed, they would be 7 or 8 hours late. Su-yun could only be glad that they were not on a high-speed train. Although the high-speed train was fast, it was tightly sealed and had strict inspections. Triangle Eyes did not dare to take it. It was not impossible for him to be afraid of being held down in the car. However, this ordinary train was much safer. Not to mention that the management and inspection were not as strict, there were also many stops. If there were any problems, he could escape at any time. Even if he encountered trouble while driving, there was still a chance of survival if he jumped out of the car. If he jumped onto the high-speed rail, he would definitely die. Therefore, from all aspects, as long as the criminal did not have the intention to threaten the safety of the passengers on the train, he would definitely choose an ordinary train. These 4 hours passed very quickly. It was all because Su-yun was too focused on driving that he didn't even feel tired. Finally, when the car needed to be refueled, Su-yun came to the service area that they had agreed on. They had seen Su-yun's black Cayenne before, so Chong immediately waved his hand. After Su-yun drove the car into the refueling area, Chong and the infantry rushed over. Su-yun also opened the fuel tank cover and jumped out of the car. He signaled the gas station staff to fill it up. "Brother, we all miss you so much. Look at how busy you are now. How long has it been since you came to Shenzhen to drink with us?" Chong complained intimately as he took out a cigarette. Su-yun went forward and hit him on the head. He laughed and scolded, "What is this place? You are still taking out a cigarette. Did you not bring your brain when you went out?" He. Chong scratched his head. He was really too excited, so he forgot. "I'm excited because I saw Brother Yun. No matter how stupid I am, I know that you can't smoke at a gas station." As he spoke, Chong quickly put away the cigarette before the people next to him beat him up. In this day and age, there were a lot of idiots who did not care about their own safety and the safety of others. They dared to smoke a few meters away from a gas station. There were even more people who used their phones while refueling. These were all things that needed to be paid attention to, but some people just didn't take it seriously and thought that it didn't matter. It didn't matter if they didn't take their own lives seriously, but the gas station was a public place. There wasn't only one person there. This kind of behavior would threaten the safety of many people. Therefore, this kind of person definitely deserved a beating. If they were seen and beaten to death, they deserved it. Look at you now. Don't be so careless when doing things. Su-yun reached out and tidied up Chong's shirt. He glanced at the place where they parked their car. Yo, you got a new car? Chong waved his hand. Don't tease me, bro. How would I dare to change a car worth 1 or 2 million? I changed it at the hotel. Chairman Ye's previous car had an accident. It was a quality problem, so he directly took it to Fourth Son's shop to block the door and defend his rights. That's what you should do. Cars with quality problems should be returned directly. Su-yun, these car sellers don't take the law seriously. They won't return the car even if it's a broken axle. They should be taught a lesson. Who doesn't? Chairman Yi has been troubled because of this. Chong said, when he bought this new car, there was a new policy. A new rule. Cars above 1.3 million will have a 10% tax increase. Damn. Bro, think about it. With my salary, can I ignore a 10% tax increase? Only Chairman Yi is rich. That's quite ruthless. Su-yun smiled. Chong said, Brother Yun, this is just a small number for you. You don't care about it. I care. Su-yun patted the Kian. I didn't buy this car myself. You all know that if it were me, I definitely wouldn't want it. Why? Chong and the footman were somewhat puzzled. What was a person's dream in life? Wasn't it a luxury car or a mansion? Not to mention the rich, even an ordinary person would want to live in a 200 square meter house and drive a 400,000 to 500,000 mid-range car, right? The Kian was so good. Whether it was a successful entrepreneur, a super gold-collar worker, a second generation who knew how to reincarnate, or a big brother who was doing well in society, they all liked such an elegant and classy city SUV. It was so exciting. However, Su-yun didn't think so. You calculate. An imported car has 3 taxes. The tariff is 25%, the value-added tax is 17%, and there are 7 levels of consumption tax. The highest is 40%. How many times is this car's original price? The price of this kind of luxury car in the country is often 3 times that of the foreign general model. Often, it has to be modified before it can be sold. If you force it to be modified, it will cost at least 6 figures. It's not worth it. The country knows that the rich don't care, so they added it. Yes. Anyway, this kind of car is sold in the country every month. Not many people will be affected. Su-yun nodded. But I feel that this kind of thing is quite F***ed up. You put your brain and mind on money. Can you die if you think more about environmental protection? Chong had a different view on this. Hasn't the halving of the purchase tax for cars with a displacement less than 1.6 liters been done for a long time? This is the consideration of environmental issues. Su-yun shook his head helplessly. I say, Chong, your brain is really the same as those leaders of the relevant departments. Have you been blinded by lard? If you think about things so simply, what's the difference between you and a good-for-nothing? Chong lowered his head awkwardly. He really couldn't understand this. Brother, isn't this a good thing? It's a good thing, but this thing is really too rigid. Su-yun, why is there a tax reduction for small displacement? Do you understand? To protect the environment, to conserve energy, and to save fuel. The tax reduction is supported. It's quite good, Chong said. Then let me ask you. Do you know about blue sky technology and Earth Dream technology? These technologies make high-displacement cars more fuel-efficient, energy-efficient, and environmentally friendly than some brands 1.6 or 1.5T cars? Su-yun asked. Chong was speechless. The infantryman nodded. Those technologies are indeed very powerful. Although the Japanese are quite disgusting, these two technologies are really meaningful. That's why I say, why don't they support these types of cars? Why do they have to rigidly support cars with a displacement less than 1.6 liters? Su Yun, the infantryman definitely knows this the best. It's obviously not tenable. I really don't know what the people who made the rules were thinking at that time. Chapter 3485. The infantryman was obsessed with cars, so he knew a lot of the principles behind them. Su Yun also knew that small displacement didn't mean fuel economy, but he couldn't explain it clearly. However, the infantryman was different. The infantryman was a professional and understood this better than anyone else. Brother Yun is right. A small displacement turbocharged engine might not be fuel efficient. The turbocharged engine itself can't improve the engine's fuel economy, but it can increase the engine's power output, the infantryman said. Su Yun spread his hands. See, so many brands want to buy cars with turbocharged engines just to enjoy the halved purchase tax policy. The technology might not even be good enough. What do you mean? I don't understand. Chong looked at the infantryman and scratched his head. Turbocharged engines aren't fuel efficient? Of course. The infantryman said, the turbocharged engine's torque is just a broad characteristic of the platform. By matching the appropriate transmission system, the turbocharged engine can operate more efficiently than a naturally aspirated engine at a constant speed or high speed. Chong was still confused. Isn't that still saving fuel? But the daily morning and evening peak hours are in the city. Because the turbocharger often needs to be involved, the turbocharged engine won't be more fuel efficient than a naturally aspirated engine in congested conditions. The infantryman said, on the contrary, the self-priming engine that uses Earth Dream and Blue Sky technology is completely developed for energy conservation. The 2.4 displacement can compete with the 1.4T in terms of energy conservation and environmental protection. In terms of power, it can completely beat the small displacement. So, Brother Yun's meaning is very clear. The state supporting this kind of energy-saving technology is more reliable than supporting the small displacement engine. Su Yun looked at Chong. Do you understand now? I understand. Chong nodded. But now, everyone wants to avoid unnecessary trouble. So, it's better to have less trouble. If we support flexible sports, won't the workers be in trouble? If they're afraid of trouble, they shouldn't take the state's tax. Su Yun, isn't the purpose of being paid by the government to work for the country and the people? If you want to live a carefree life, then don't be in this line of work. Don't raise your fists and swear to serve the people. You only do things that serve yourself. At this time, the gas tank in the car was full. I'll give it to you. Chong took out his gas card and handed it over. This is a 100-liter fuel tank. Don't feel too bad about it. Su Yun smiled. Chong smiled bitterly. Oh my God, isn't this too big? If I had known that it would have such a big fuel tank, I wouldn't have been a rich man. Ha ha ha. Isn't this the company's fuel card? The foot soldier was too honest. Chongzi was speechless. Oh my God. Can't you let me show that I'm impressive? Sigh. All right, Chong. I'm in a hurry, so I won't chat with you anymore. Once I'm done with the things over there, I'll send the foot soldier back as soon as possible. Su Yun, prepare some good wine and wait for us. Chong became serious and stopped joking. He nodded and said, All right, brother. Don't worry. After that, Chong instructed the foot soldier, You must take good care of Brother Yun. Do whatever I tell you to do and listen to the arrangements. If you do well, Chairman, you will get a bonus when you come back. You must keep this in mind. Yes, I understand. The foot soldier nodded. When did you become like a sissy? Su Yun was a little speechless. He quickly waved at Chong. Go, go, go. Hurry up and go back. We'll go first. The foot soldier took the initiative and said, Brother Yun, I'll drive. You must be tired after driving all the way here from Qingdao. Thank you for your hard work. There was no need for Su Yun to be polite. The journey was quite long. Su Yun was prepared to replace the foot soldier midway. After all, Su Yun hoped that the foot soldier would have enough energy to solve the problem after entering the other side. After the two of them set off, Su Yun went to rest first. Halfway through, Su Yun received a message from Cho Yun. It was already past 7 in the evening. Cho Yun had already followed the triangular-eyed train. After the train, the triangular-eyed took a taxi and left quickly. Cho Yun also took a taxi and followed closely behind. Cho Yun asked the driver and found out that they were heading towards Huangjiang. Su Yun's mind was a lot clearer now. Their previous deduction was right. The triangular-eyed was indeed heading towards Huangjiang. Foot soldier, we'll stop at the next service area for a smoke. I'll drive later. Rest well, Su Yun said. The foot soldier shook his head with a smile. I'm not tired, Brother Yun. Don't. I still need your help when we reach Huangjiang. Su Yun, just listen to my arrangements. Rest later and have a good sleep. Brother Yun, why are we going to Huangjiang? The foot soldier asked. He had been thinking about this all the way, but he never asked. Su Yun had too many things on his mind, so he didn't say much to him. Now that the foot soldier knew that they would reach their destination in 8 hours at most, his curiosity was definitely growing. Chong said that you went to Huangjiang to pick up a car. That's why I asked you to come. Su Yun, I need you to help me find the people who are in the water wheel business here. The people here are very careful. They don't welcome strangers. So, I need you to introduce me to them. The foot soldier didn't know the real reason, so he was very surprised. Brother Yun, you also buy a water wheel? Most people who bought water wheels didn't really have nowhere to spend their money. They just wanted to use luxury cars as a front to do some big business. The really rich people wouldn't be interested in water wheels. After all, those who were worth hundreds of millions didn't care about this small amount of money. Even the most expensive car didn't matter to the really rich. In the foot soldier's heart, Su Yun was definitely a really rich person. Why would a really rich person be interested in a water wheel? Brother Yun, let's put it this way. With my understanding of water wheels, not to mention that you can deal with the traffic police with your status, there's no guarantee that this thing is safe. The foot soldier was anxious. Most of the water wheels are second-hand cars. The labor costs in the American Empire are high. Many people like to sell their cars after the warranty expires. The American Empire has a special trade relationship with Hong Kong and Macau. So, it's easy for cars to come here. Many of them are stolen. Su Yun smiled. Just as he was about to explain, he was interrupted by the foot soldier again. It could be seen that the foot soldier was really worried. This thing has a problem when it's being transported. Because of the flood of water wheels, in order to maximize the number of vehicles transported, the smuggled vehicles will be disassembled before they are transported. This way, more vehicles can be transported in the same space. Oh. Su Yun originally wanted to explain, but when he heard this, his interest was piqued. Disassembled? Yes. The people in this business will cut off all the ABC columns and remove the glass. They will also remove the suspension of the 4 wheels. Then, they will put the ABC columns and suspension into the seats. The glass is packaged separately. Some of them are directly sold back in China. The foot soldier said, after entering the port, there will be a specialized assembly factory to restore the body in batches. There's a specialized assembly factory in Causeway Bay. Their workmanship is very good. They polish the welds very carefully. It's difficult to see with the naked eye. It's that professional? The foot soldier nodded. Yes, it's quite professional. Although you can't see it from the outside, the rigidity of the frame is greatly reduced. This kind of vehicle has been transported over a long distance without standards. Many parts have been shaken or even soaked in water. Most of the conditions of the vehicle are extremely unreliable. However, there are people who will refurbish the interior and clean the engine after they get the vehicle. Su Yun smiled and shook his head. It seems that the water is really quite deep. Water carts are too unreliable. Brother Yun, let me put it this way. More than 95% of water carts are flat-roofed carts, two-blade carts, modified old carts, assembled carts, and even extreme performance carts can change the right rudder to the left rudder. There are all kinds of things. People are really willing to do anything to make money. Su Yun could not help but exclaim. Isn't it too dangerous to drive this kind of vehicle on the road? Yes. The foot soldier nodded vigorously. So Brother Yun, you must not play with that kind of vehicle. That kind of vehicle is too unreliable. You definitely can't buy it. You won't change to a water wheel just because of the 10% tax increase, right? It's not a big deal, so there's no need to take risks. Your identity. Oh, really? I'm not going to buy a water wheel. Su Yun smiled slightly. In order to not let the foot soldier worry, he had to explain as soon as possible. I'm investigating a case. This case seems to be related to water wheels. I'll tell you slowly. Chapter 3486. When the infantryman heard Su Yun's explanation, he came to a realization. F***CK. I didn't think that there would be people using this kind of smuggling channel to do something even more illegal. People nowadays are smarter than monkeys even if they have fur stuck on. Su Yun nodded. Smuggling is nothing more than evading customs supervision and evading taxes. Once they go from the port area to the Huangjiang River, everything will be separated. Only those who evade 500,000 yuan in taxes will be sentenced to more than 10 years in prison. Once they are separated, a single car will at most be confiscated and fined. Using that as a cover is lighter than being punished with poison. So you're saying that the water wheels in the Huangjiang River are all related to poison? The infantryman was so shocked that he could not close his mouth. Probably not all of them are related, but there are definitely smart people who have done something here. Su Yun, you just told me that the smuggled cars were disassembled to reduce costs and that there was a specialized assembly plant. I'm even more certain that there's a problem here. The infantryman's heart skipped a beat. Yeah, these guys only need to do something in the assembly plant to get away with it. I'm not sure how likely that is, but based on the current situation, that's the most likely method. The water wheels that contain poison enter the assembly plant, and then someone in the assembly plant will remove the poison. It's almost impossible to detect. Brother Yun, the people you want to catch are too powerful. The infantryman could not help but break out in a cold sweat. What, are you scared? Su Yun smiled. You don't need to get involved. Don't worry, I'll put you in a safe position. Once you're there, the police will give me enough help. Brother Yun, I don't like what you're saying. What do I have to be scared of? The infantryman said, since I've come with you, I won't frown no matter what you ask me to do. Climb a mountain of swords or plunge into a sea of flames. Just say the word. Chong told me that he wouldn't be where he is today without you. Someone as powerful as you would treat a small fry like him as a brother. He's very grateful. I'm also Chong's brother. Without him, I wouldn't be where I am today. I'm just a driver with Chairman Yi. Every year, I earn so much more than before, and the benefits are so good. Don't talk about that. If you didn't work hard, you wouldn't be where you are today. Su Yun, what you can get is what you should get after you put in the effort. If you don't put in any effort, you won't get anything. The infantryman was stunned. Su Yun was very serious. If Chong was the kind of person who only asked for things, he wouldn't be where he is today. It's because he worked hard enough that I value him. It's because he has a good character that I value him. It's all because he fought for himself. He opened his heart to me, so I opened my heart to him. When the infantryman heard that, he nodded vigorously. Brother, I understand. Only by putting in effort can you get something in return. It's the same for you. If you were introduced by Chong to be Chairman Ye's driver and you didn't take it seriously, would Chairman Ye give you a salary? Su Yun smiled slightly. As far as I know, Chairman Yi is a very serious person. If you don't take your job seriously, she'll ask you to leave immediately. She won't give anyone face. Yes. The infantryman laughed foolishly. If Chairman Yi gives you a salary that you're satisfied with, it means that you give her a work attitude that she's satisfied with. Su Yun, I'm very clear about that. That's also because there's this opportunity. Otherwise, no matter how hard I work, it's useless if I don't have this opportunity. The infantryman smiled embarrassedly. In the end, we're all basking in Brother Yun's glory. Su Yun laughed out loud. Even if we don't know each other, as long as you have this attitude, you'll still have other opportunities. Opportunities are hard to come by. The infantryman shook his head. For me to have this opportunity, that's because God thinks highly of me. No, everyone will have many opportunities in their life. Su Yun, other than those who seize the opportunity and reincarnate into a super-rich second generation, the rest are ordinary people. Ordinary people will encounter all kinds of opportunities in their lives. It's just up to you to seize them. I've never encountered any opportunities before. Su Yun shook his head. That's because you missed it. All successful people seize opportunities. Only those who fail complain about not having any opportunities. A person who can seize 3 opportunities in his life will become a very successful person. The infantryman had never thought about such a profound question. Those who can seize the first opportunity will live much better than ordinary people. At least among people in the same circle and stage, their lives will be better. Su Yun, you're seizing your first opportunity now. Drive well for Chairman Yi. You'll earn more than ordinary white-collar workers. That's seizing your opportunity. The infantryman nodded seriously. Su Yun's words were precious to him. Chong also seized his first opportunity, that's why I gave him a chance. Then, when he came to Shenzhen, he seized his second opportunity in his life. He's already a senior manager in a big hotel. He took his opportunity seriously. He studied hard and worked hard to get to where he is today. Su Yun, what do you think? The infantryman suddenly realized. Chong is indeed different from before. I've never seen him study before. Oh. He's starting to study now? Su Yun was also a little surprised. Yes, he reads all kinds of books on hotel management, personnel management, the infantryman said. The infantryman said, he even reads some random books, I've never even heard of them. I wonder if he can understand them with his level of education. Every stage of a person's life has a different understanding of the content. Perhaps Chong couldn't understand it in the past, but he can now. Su Yun smiled slightly. It seems that he's already preparing to enrich himself so that he'll have the ability to seize the third opportunity. That way, when the third opportunity appears, he won't miss it. The infantryman was completely stunned. It turned out that Chong was no longer the Chong he knew. He's already prepared to face the third opportunity? The infantryman's mouth was completely agape. In just 2 or 3 years, the gap between him and Chong had actually widened so much? Su Yun nodded. I don't know if he's ready or not, but from his current state, he's at least started to prepare. As long as he can seize 3 opportunities in his life, he'll become one of the people at the top of the pyramid in Huaxia. I used to be unconvinced by him, but now I'm really convinced. The infantryman shook his head and said with some self-abasement. It's not too late for you. Seize the opportunity you have now. Don't be arrogant and don't be complacent. The second opportunity will definitely wave at you. Su Yun smiled slightly. If you're not ready, your second opportunity will definitely not come to you. The infantryman lowered his head in embarrassment. Brother Yun, to tell you the truth, if you didn't say these things to me today, I'd really be complacent. Complacent? Su Yun asked. Why? Although I only get about 200,000 yuan a year, compared to many people of the same age, it's considered passable. It's enough to eat and drink, so I'm a little complacent. The infantryman blushed a little when he said this. Before facing Su Yun, he was quite confident with this amount of money. At least compared to many of his friends in his hometown who only got about 3,000 yuan a month, he did have some capital to be complacent. But now, the infantryman really didn't feel that proud. He even felt a little embarrassed. Su Yun nodded. Indeed, it's normal for you to have this kind of mentality. After all, even in Shenzhen, there are definitely a small number of people who can get more than 30 yuan a year. Most people your age have an annual salary of 80,000 to 150,000 yuan. Those who can get 300,000 to 400,000 yuan a year are at least the business directors of companies or the vice presidents of some profitable organizations. Generally speaking, in Shenzhen, it should be the mainstream to get 100,000 yuan a year. The infantryman could get 200,000 yuan, so his complacency was understandable. Hearing Su Yun say this, the infantryman's heart calmed down a little. Actually, I also know that my complacency is a little too. I don't know how to put it. Maybe it's because my vision is too low and I haven't seen any big money. In the past, in northern Ji, it was already not bad to get 70,000 to 80,000 yuan a year. So when I came here, I felt suddenly much higher. Chapter 34-87. I understand where you're coming from, but you need to change your mindset. Su Yun, looking at the bigger picture of Hua Xia, your 200,000 a year salary is pretty good, but if you're complacent, you'll reach your limit. The infantryman nodded seriously. Actually, many people are at a loss like you. Su Yun said, based on the average salary announced by the country, the number one Yanjing doesn't even exceed 10,000. Shenzhen only has a little over 8,000. If we add up the average salary of the 50 richest cities in the country, I'm afraid it's only 5,000. The infantryman smiled. He had seen this before, so he was very proud because he finally didn't have to sigh about being a burden to the country anymore. Now, he was being held back by others, and most people in the country couldn't even compare to him. It's because you know this that you're complacent. Su Yun, at this time, you should think about the pyramid. What shape is the pyramid? It's triangular, and the higher you go, the smaller you get. The smaller you get, the richer you get. If you average the triangles into rectangles, how much do you want the people at the top of the pyramid to give to the people at the bottom? The infantryman was stunned. You're above average, but that's the bottom half of the people. Su Yun, the top of the pyramid is your life goal. The infantryman took a deep breath. Brother Yun, you're making me doubt life. Why doubt life? Su Yun laughed. Isn't this a very normal thing? As long as you work hard to climb up, you'll have a chance to fight for it. If you don't have motivation, then find some for yourself. How do I find it? The infantryman was humbly learning. Your annual salary is 200,000. What have you done? Su Yun, the infantryman scratched his head in embarrassment. After deducting food and drinks, I only have 100,000 left. I've been saving it all. If you want to have motivation in life, then don't save money. Su Yun, saving money is something only people over 50 do. If you want to earn more and fight for it, then set a goal for yourself. For example, pay a down payment to buy a small house in the suburbs of Shenzhen within 3 years, buy a mid-range car within 5 years, buy a 3-bedroom apartment in Shenzhen within 8 years, and buy $1 million high-end car within 10 years. This is all helpful to you. Only when you have motivation will you be motivated. The infantryman, I don't even dare to think about $1 million car. I don't even dare to think about a 3-bedroom apartment. If you don't dare to think about it, then you'll be like this for the rest of your life. Su Yun shook his head. You're not an old man in your 50s or 60s. You're afraid that you won't have a sense of security. You're not even 30, and you don't even dare to think about saving some money for your retirement. The infantryman seemed to have been provoked by Su Yun. He's from the top of the world, he was from the heart, was from the bottom, he was from the bottom, he was not even 28, not even dare to think about it. As long as you have the heart, you have the platform now. Spend 2 years to buy a house, buy a car, and spend where you need to. Don't do things like that before you reach the age of retirement. Su Yun smiled. Think about it yourself. There's a good saying, money is earned, not saved. Saving money will never make it to the top of the pyramid. It will only make people lazy and stay at the bottom of the pyramid forever. That's right. The infantryman almost stood up in excitement, but he was held back by the seatbelt. Yes. Brother Yun, you're right. I've fallen into the wrong mindset. That's normal. People of our generation will fall into this mindset. The more ordinary the family, the easier it is for them to fall into this mindset. Su Yun, it's because it's not easy for parents to earn money, they have to save it bit by bit, that's why they have this mindset. But the times are different now, you mustn't be led astray by the old mindset. Yes. The infantryman nodded vigorously. Go back and tell your parents to spend when they need to. Don't be so thrifty when you shouldn't be. Live in the present. Su Yun smiled. As long as you set an example and don't let them worry about you, they'll naturally get over it. Brother Yun, listening to your words is better than studying for 10 years. The infantryman sighed. I always feel that I've lived in vain all those years. Although you're a driver, don't lose your skills in repairing and modifying cars. Su Yun, don't forget the foundation of your initial foothold in society. The infantryman nodded. I understand, Brother Yun. Driving by Chairman Ye's side can earn money, and you can also work by your brother's side. But your potential is more than that. Su Yun felt that he had said enough and smiled faintly. Sleep for a while, I'll naturally wake you up when we reach the place. You still have to help me do things after you've rested up. Yes. The infantryman obeyed Su Yun's words. After the infantryman went to sleep, Su Yun went all the way south and headed straight for Huangjiang. At 11 o'clock in the evening, Cho Yun sent another message saying that Triangle Eyes had already stayed in a small hotel. She was currently eating wonton in a 24-hour wonton restaurant opposite the small hotel. After the location of the map was sent, Su Yun immediately set up the navigation. At 4 o'clock in the morning, Su Yun finally arrived at the place that Cho Yun mentioned. After entering Huangjiang, Su Yun's speed slowed down a lot. Because he had to work in the city, he had to familiarize himself with everything in the city. Only by familiarizing himself with the city could he better complete the work here. The 24-hour wonton restaurant was easy to find. It was even more conspicuous than the small hotel opposite him. Su Yun didn't dare to park the car in this place, so he parked it at a small intersection 2 streets away. After Su Yun found the wonton restaurant with the infantryman, Cho Yun's face was already a little tired. She hadn't slept for a long time, so she was indeed a little tired. Seeing that the infantryman followed, Cho Yun didn't ask much because she knew that Su Yun had her arrangements and intentions for everything he did. Thank you for your hard work. Su Yun patted Cho Yun's shoulder and handed the car keys to Cho Yun. I parked the car over there. You can see it after walking 2 small intersections. Go to the car and sleep for a while. I'll keep an eye on this place. Brother Yun, you all go and rest. I've been sleeping on the way here. I'm in good spirits. The infantryman said, I'll keep an eye on it. You keep an eye on it? Who are you keeping an eye on? Su Yun. You haven't even seen the person. Who are you keeping an eye on? The infantryman was stunned for a moment. I really don't know. Cho Yun smiled faintly and took the keys from Su Yun. Then I'll go and rest for a while. Go. Su Yun nodded. Do you want to drink some wonton before going? I've already drunk. Cho Yun said. Because she had been staying here, Cho Yun was embarrassed and had already ordered wonton twice. Well, then let's eat something. I'm starving on the way here. Su Yun smiled embarrassedly and said to the infantryman, I let you starve with me. I'm fine. The infantryman shook his head. After Cho Yun left, Su Yun directly ordered 2 super big bowls of family portrait wonton. There were 50 big wontons in each bowl. Su Yun and the infantryman ate until they were burping. It was probably rare to see people with such big appetites in the South. It was really a little shocking. Really, These wontons are delicious. The infantryman wiped his mouth and said, "This is because we're too hungry. If we weren't so hungry, I'm afraid we wouldn't be able to eat such delicious food." Su Yun was also full. He looked out of the window with satisfaction. It's said that the south is warmer than the north. In fact, the nights here aren't that warm. The infantryman nodded. Yes, the cold in the north is different from here. The cold in the north can be withstood as long as you wear more clothes. The cold in the south. It's the same no matter how many clothes you wear. It's gloomy and cold, and the cold seeps into your bones. It hasn't reached the coldest time yet. When I came here to take the car in the coldest time, it froze me. Yes, the gloomy and cold really makes people uncomfortable. Su Yun smiled. If it wasn't for this cold, I would still like the climate in the south. It's comfortable and not so dry. Each has its own merits. The infantryman said. Chapter 3488. The two chatted while waiting for the person they were looking for to walk out of the opposite hotel. Su Yun's seat was hidden, but it was easier to observe the opposite hotel. Cho Yun might have been really tired, so she fell asleep in the car. With Su Yun watching over her, she was relieved. At about 7 o'clock in the morning, the triangular-eyed figure finally appeared at the door of the hotel. At this time, there were many people eating breakfast in the wonton shop. Su Yun and the footman each ordered a bowl of wonton. First, it was to thank the wonton shop for letting them stay for so long. Second, it was to hide from others and not to be too obvious. Just as the triangular-eyed man came out, Su Yun gave the footman a look. The footman looked over and remembered the triangular-eyed man's appearance almost at a glance. This guy's eyes were too unique. They looked fierce. What Su Yun didn't expect was that the triangular-eyed man actually walked straight to the wonton shop. This situation was a bit bad. After all, the triangular-eyed man knew Su Yun. If he was recognized, then there was no way to continue. Now in the entire wonton shop, only the table next to Su Yun's was empty. If the triangular-eyed man came to eat wonton, he would definitely sit at this table, and he would definitely be able to see Su Yun at this table. At this critical moment, Su Yun had no other choice. He could only gamble. "Footman, go and occupy that table." Su Yun made a prompt decision. His position was the least likely to be noticed when he came in to order wonton. He definitely couldn't let the triangular-eyed man choose the table next to him. So he let the footman occupy the table. This way, the triangular-eyed man only had two choices. If there was no place to sit, he could eat somewhere else or find someone else to share the table. Unless Su Yun was unlucky to a certain extent, the triangular-eyed man wouldn't sit at the table occupied by him or the footman. If that was the case, Su Yun had no other choice because the triangular-eyed man had already walked across the road to the wonton shop. He had no other choice. The footman's reaction was fast enough. He picked up the hot wonton and changed his seat. The moment the footman sat down, Triangle Eyes pushed the door open and walked in. After Triangle Eyes entered the store, he glanced around but didn't stop at Su Yun. Su Yun's back was facing Triangle Eyes. If Triangle Eyes didn't look carefully, he wouldn't recognize Su Yun. The infantryman looked at Triangle Eyes from the corner of his eyes as he ate his wonton. When Triangle saw that there were no seats available, he was stunned for a moment. He seemed to want to turn around and leave, but in the end, he walked towards the boss and asked, "Can you send the wontons to the hotel opposite?" After saying that, Triangle Eyes took out the money and glanced at the price posted on the wall. The big bowl was 15 yuan, but he directly gave 50 yuan. For the big bowl, take the bowl directly to 312 across the street. Keep the change. All right. The boss agreed without hesitation. This amount of money was definitely not a problem. A bowl was only worth a little. Don't worry, boss. I'll send it to you as soon as it's done. Triangle Eyes turned around and left. Su Yun didn't expect this guy to actually choose takeout. This was really dangerous. Soo-yoon realized that he absolutely couldn't personally monitor Triangle Eyes anymore. After this, he would need Cho-yun to do this. If he was caught by Triangle Eyes, he would lose a very hidden drug clue. This was the most important thing. Therefore, when Triangle Eyes just walked out, Soo-yoon quickly got up and called the infantryman to quickly leave the scene. When they returned to the car, Cho-yun also woke up. That guy woke up. He just ordered a wonton back to the hotel. He will probably leave after eating. Soo-yoon said to Cho-yun, "I'll leave the rest to you. You must be careful. The most important thing is who he contacts, especially people related to the car business. Whether it's a second-hand car seller, a repair shop, or even a car wash, you can't let go of any of them." "I understand." Cho-yun nodded. "Don't worry." Cho-yun quickly rushed back to the wonton shop and waited. About an hour later, Triangle Eyes really did walk out of the hotel. He put on the hood on his clothes and quickly left in a taxi. Cho-yun was a little anxious because she didn't get a taxi. She called Soo-yoon to drive over. However, Soo-yoon felt that it was inappropriate. After all, he still had use for this car. He didn't want to expose it so early. However, Cho-yun remembered the taxi plate number. This way, Soo-yoon would have a way. He contacted Chen Wei to help him solve this problem. Chen Wei immediately contacted the local police in Hwangjiang. Through the traffic surveillance, they quickly locked onto the target car. The target car stopped at the entrance of a local shopping mall. Cho-yun waited for a taxi and quickly rushed over. When Cho-yun arrived, the mall had just opened for business. Therefore, she saw Triangle Eyes enter the mall immediately. Triangle Eyes' purpose in going to the mall was very simple. He found a men's clothing store and changed into a new set of clothes. This guy was very careful, so this was indeed his style of doing things. After Triangle Eyes bought the clothes and left, Cho-yun followed him all the way to a tea house. About half an hour later, a black Audi stopped in front of the tea house. Two people got out of the car and entered the tea house with slightly nervous expressions. More than half an hour later, Triangle Eyes and the two people who drove the Audi walked out of the tea house together. The two people got into the car and left immediately. Cho-yun recorded the car plate number and immediately told Soo-yoon. Soo-yoon also asked Chen Wei to help him coordinate the investigation. Now, they had to keep an eye on anyone who had contact with Triangle Eyes. After Triangle Eyes sent them off, he returned to the tea house and stayed there for more than an hour. The Audi was also found out that it belonged to a car repair shop. It was a small repair shop, but it was still quite famous in Hwangjiang City. This was because the mechanic's job was good and the price was quite reasonable. Therefore, many locals liked to come here to get their cars repaired. After knowing the location, Soo-yoon and the footmen went to take a look. They went around the repair shop and roughly looked at the surrounding environment. At this time, Cho-yun also followed Triangle Eyes to a barber shop. Triangle Eyes went in and shaved his head bald. When he came out, his whole image changed a lot. Cho-yun knew that this guy must have a big image change. Then she followed Triangle Eyes to an old building. After Triangle Eyes went up, she didn't know what to do. Cho-yun didn't dare to go forward rashly. She could only monitor and report the situation to Soo-yoon. Soo-yoon told her to be patient and record down these positions. Right now, they didn't have much of a clue, so they definitely couldn't rashly make any irrational moves. Cho-yun expressed that she understood. After that, Soo-yoon and the footmen didn't stay idle. Soo-yoon wanted to get a fake license plate. The footmen said that he would leave it to him. When he came here to pick up the car, he knew where to get it. He went to a car wash shop. After a few words, the footmen bought a fake license plate. They then found a hotel and changed the license plate of the car. Then, they booked a room and checked in. The footmen knew that his next task was very important. Now you have to contact the person you bought the car from before and tell him that you brought a boss who wants to buy a car. Soo-yoon, show him the strength and pickiness of the boss who wants to buy the car. I know what to do, Big Brother Yoon. Don't worry, I'll contact a few people now. When the time comes, I'll definitely be able to contact all the people in the Huangjiang River who are in the water wheel business. The foot soldier nodded. There is cash in the car glove box. In order to show your sincerity, you can give them a deposit. Tell them that you must buy a good car, as long as the license plate. Pending. We will decide when Cho Yun updates us, Su Yun said. The footmen knew Su Yun's purpose, so he knew what to do without much explanation. Then I will go first, Brother Yun. After the footmen finished speaking, he quickly left the hotel and drove the Kian with a new license plate. People who came to buy water cars must have acquaintances. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to find a way. This was the reason why Su Yun had to bring the footmen here. With the footmen, he could avoid a lot of detours. The footmen had to pay 100% attention to Su Yun's matters, so he didn't have to worry at all. He could definitely do it beautifully. Su Yun was worried that he would expose himself, so he had to stay in the hotel and wait for news. This was actually the most uncomfortable time. Instead of staying in the hotel and doing nothing, it was better to go out and find something to do. As for the local police, Su Yun repeatedly emphasized to Chen Wei that the local police should not be involved in this matter too early. If there was a need, they should ask for help. If there was no need, he hoped that they could act as if nothing had happened. After all, Su Yun didn't know how deep the water was in this area. If there was a black sheep involved in the local business, it would be troublesome. Chapter 3489. The infantryman dialed a number after he got into the car. Actually, there were some people he had not contacted for more than 2 years. If it were not for Su Yun, he probably would not have contacted them in the future. Fortunately, the infantryman did not have the habit of deleting his phone number. If he had the habit of deleting his phone number, it would have been difficult to find him today. The call was quickly connected. Who is it? The local dialect was quite difficult to understand. Fortunately, the infantryman had interacted with them before, so he knew a few words. He also knew their rules and some of their code words. It's me, Brother Noodles. I'm Abing. I've mentioned cars to you 3 times. Abing? The person on the other side of the phone was obviously stunned. Which Abing? Why are you mentioning cars to me? You've got the wrong person. Spending the money of a low-spec Passat to buy an imported BMW 740, spending the money of an Audi A6 to buy a Mercedes-Benz Maybach, and not buying a bicycle with 3,000 to 5,000 yuan, insisting on seeing a Boeing 757 private jet. Which one is possible? The infantryman smiled. After hearing the infantryman's words, Brother Noodles's attitude changed. You're Abing? Yes, the Abing from the small town in the north, the infantryman continued. Brother Noodles, you're so forgetful. I've mentioned a Land Rover Range Rover, an Audi S8, and a Ferrari 488 to you. You should remember me now, right? Brother Noodles laughed. Of course I remember you. I asked you to say these because I wanted to confirm it. These days, our industry is very strict. I'm also afraid of getting caught. So, I'm really sorry about what happened just now. Brother Noodles, I'm here to ask you to buy cars. Don't tell me you don't want to do this anymore? The infantryman smiled. This time, I've met a big boss. I'm here to make money. Brother, if I don't work in this line of work, then what should I do? There's no place for you in any line of work. I can only work in this line of work. Brother Noodles smiled. Where are you? Have you come to the Yellow River or where? I'm already in Huangjiang. The infantryman smiled. Otherwise, I wouldn't dare to disturb you. You're already here? Then where are you? I'll come and pick you up. Brother Noodles said, I happen to have nothing to do right now. I'm on the road now. Noodle bro, tell me a place and I'll come over, the soldier said. That's fine too. Noodle bro nodded. How about this? You drive directly to the auto parts shop where we first met, the one on Jinyu West Road. You still remember the place, right? I'm going there to do something. I'll be there in about 10 minutes. Okay, Noodle bro. I'll be there as soon as I can. The soldier hung up after saying that. The infantryman found the auto parts city on the GPS and drove straight there. In less than 20 minutes, the infantryman arrived at the auto parts city that Brother Noodles had mentioned. At this moment, Brother Noodles was waiting at the entrance of the auto parts store with a cigarette in his mouth. Next to him was an old Ruger. It seemed like he had finished his business and was waiting for the infantry. When the foot soldier appeared in Su Yun's black Cayenne, Brother Noodles didn't care at all. After all, in his eyes, the foot soldier was just a small character who worked hard for a small amount of money. They were all poor people. Why would a rich person do something so tiring? When the infantryman parked the car beside Brother Noodles spat on the ground unhappily. After all, he had seen all kinds of luxury cars. Although he couldn't afford it, he naturally wouldn't take a Cayenne too seriously after seeing so many luxury cars. Even though Brother Noodles could tell at a glance that the car was top-notch, he still showed disdain. He was disdainful that this guy parked the car beside him, as if he was trying to show off to him. However, when the car window rolled down, the foot soldier chuckled. Noodle bro, I didn't make you wait long, right? I haven't been here for almost 2 years. The roads here have changed. It's not easy to find. Brother Noodles shuddered, and the cigarette in his hand fell to the ground with half a stick left. Was this still the same Abing? Not bad, brother. Brother Noodles was very shocked. After the foot soldier opened the door and got out of the car, Brother Noodles went up to him and hugged his shoulder. You've already gotten into a Cayenne and made money. What good connections do you have? Help me, your brother. The foot soldier quickly shook his head. Noodle bro, don't joke around. This car is nothing in your eyes. Brother, if it's just a product, I wouldn't care about it. But you got into it, so the meaning is different. Brother Noodles laughed, took out a cigarette, and handed it to the foot soldier. The two lit up their cigarettes. The foot soldier followed Su Yun's simple instructions and said, "Escort car, not worth much." Brother, you're in the escort car business now? Brother Noodles was stunned. The foot soldier nodded. Yeah. In the north, the water car business isn't as popular as here, so it's easier to make escort cars. That's not bad. You're making escort cars and water cars at the same time? Brother Noodles was confused. These are two different concepts. The foot soldier nodded. They are indeed different concepts, but our boss said that we must expand our business scope. There are more and more young people in the escort car business now. Most of them have 100 yuan in their pockets and want to put on a 500 yuan image. Image, everyone likes image. Brother Noodles nodded. But 100 yuan can't buy a 500 yuan car, right? 100 yuan to buy a 500 yuan car is indeed a little difficult, but 100 yuan to buy a 500 yuan water car is not a problem. The foot soldier smiled. Our boss wants to make up for this gap. Of course, this time, he mainly wants to pick a few for himself to play with. If it's easy to work with, he'll play with more. Brother Noodles was shocked. Abing, your boss is quite impressive. You followed the right person. You can make a lot of money in a year, right? It's just passable. It's not much, but you can drive this car as you like. The foot soldier laughed. Brother Noodles, you're the first person I thought of. You won't disappoint me, right? What are you talking about? You should ask about me in the water car business. What kind of reputation do I have? How can you not know? Ha ha ha, if you don't know about my reputation, why would you come to me? Brother Noodles patted his chest and said, I haven't made much money in all these years, but I have a good reputation. When it comes to the water car business, whether it's the seller or the buyer, they'll give me some face. If you're still worried, you won't be able to find a middleman in the entire Huang River. The infantryman laughed heartily. Of course. Brother, it's cold. Let's not stand here and chat. Are you hungry? Let's go. Brother Noodles will bring you to drink. Brother Noodles threw away the cigarette butt. Let's chat while we eat. I promise you'll be satisfied. As long as you have a request, I can do it for you. The foot soldier also threw the cigarette butt on the ground and stepped on it. Okay. Brother Noodles, pick a place. I'll treat you. This is your Brother Noodles territory. It's a pleasure to have friends from afar. If I don't do my part as a host, my reputation will be tarnished in the future. Brother Noodles laughed. Follow my car. I'll leave today's arrangements to Brother Noodles. Then I'll listen to Brother Noodles. With that said, the foot soldier got into the car. With Brother Noodles leading the way, the two of them arrived at a restaurant that served mountain delicacies. After entering the shop, Noodle Bro familiarly greeted the boss and asked him to find a quiet room. Noodle Bro pointed at his feet. Don't think that this shop is small. Let me tell you, you can eat anything you want. You can eat whatever you want. Monkey brain, deer tail, leopard fetus. As long as you want to eat it, we can get it for you. Brother Noodles patted his chest and said, Today, I'll treat you to a good meal. We'll eat slowly and talk slowly. Once we're done with the business, we'll have a good day together. Let's not eat those, Brother Noodles. I like bland food. The foot soldier smiled. Plus, my stomach hasn't been feeling well recently. I don't have much of an appetite for these things. It's best if we have something bland. Brother Noodles treated the foot soldier as his god of wealth, so he listened to him. If the foot soldier said bland, it had to be bland. Okay. No problem. Leave it to me. I'll get the kitchen to prepare something bland. It has to be bland. When the foot soldier saw that Brother Noodles wanted to make money, he knew that it would be easy. As long as he wanted to make money, he would definitely get it done. I'm going to explode today. It's been a long time since I've exploded. Sorry everyone, I'll explode with 20,000 words today. I hope everyone is satisfied. There will be 4 more updates before noon. Chapter 3490. Noodle Bro went to order some light dishes and came back with a bottle of Wuliangye. He poured a glass of wine for the foot soldier as he handed him cigarettes. We haven't seen each other for 2 years. Time really flies. You've made a fortune in these 2 years, but I'm still the same. Ha 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 ha, I really can't compare to you young people. What are you talking about, Noodle Bro? I'm here because I need your help. The foot soldier raised his glass and said, If it weren't for you, Noodle Bro, as our guide, where would we go to earn money? Noodle Bro, this toast is for you. Don't worry, as long as this business is successful, I, the foot soldier, will never forget the benefits of Noodle Bro. Noodle Bro will be responsible for every single transaction. Ha 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 ha. Noodle Bro was overjoyed when he heard this. I definitely believe you. You're not the kind of person to do such a thing. Of course. The foot soldier downed his glass. Noodle Bro didn't hesitate. To make money, he had to drink this wine. We're fated to be brothers. Even though we haven't contacted each other for 2 years, I still feel a sense of closeness when I see you. Noodle Bro sighed. It's really not easy to meet a brother like you these days. Noodle Bro wasn't the only middleman in the Huangjiang River. There were many other middlemen. The foot soldier knew and heard of at least a dozen of them. In this way, there were probably no less than 100 people in the Yellow River who relied on being the middleman of the water wheel to make a living. Therefore, the pressure was on Noodle Bro, especially the foot soldier, who told him that this was a long-term business deal. If that was the case, he would make a lot of money. As a middleman, he could collect a portion of the fee from both parties for every successful car he introduced. The fee wasn't high, just 1% for each party. If the car was sold for 300,000, both parties could earn 3,000. That was 6,000 for each car. In their line of work, they were guaranteed to produce 1 car per month. 6,000 was enough to feed their family, but it was only enough to feed their family. Noodle Bro was quite hard-working in this industry, but due to the strict inspection in recent years, business was not as good as before. He was very lucky to be able to produce an average of 2 cars per month. After all, Some people in the same industry could only produce one car every half a year. This was simply the rhythm of starvation. With his own hard work, Brother Noodles was still able to survive in such a bad situation. This was already more impressive than many people. However, he was not satisfied. After all, this amount of money was nothing at all. In this day and age, if you could save 100,000 yuan a year, you would be able to save 1,000,000 yuan in 10 years. But who could calculate the depreciation rate of this money? 10 years. 10 years later, $1,000,000 might be equivalent to $100,000 10 years ago. If he lived frugally for the past 10 years, he would not have earned anything in the end. He might as well enjoy life comfortably. Noodle Bro was an open-minded person, so almost every month, his pockets were completely empty. Finally, in the past 2 years, he realized that although money could not be saved foolishly, it could not be squandered away without leaving anything. His child was already in his 3rd year of high school. In the blink of an eye, he would be entering university. After entering university, he would have to get married. In this day and age, young people needed to have a car and a house to get married. In other words, after 5 or 6 years, Brother Noodles needed to have money for his son's wedding. How could he expect a university graduate to make a lot of money? Bull**T. Anyone who could earn a few million a year after graduating from university did not have a powerful family background and connections. They also had some small achievements because of the guidance of an expert. Children who came from normal family education would study until they were in their 20s. How could they have such abilities? Those who graduated from university and were hired by some big companies with a salary of 200,000 yuan were definitely top students. Therefore, Brother Noodles realized that he had to save up money. After all, as a father, he had no ability, no means, no connections, and no ability to create a huge amount of wealth for his son. And his son couldn't possibly be a talent who could earn 200,000 yuan a year. Once the pressure to make money came, Brother Noodles had no choice but to seize all the opportunities in front of him. Brother Noodles, I won't hide it from you. All these years, I've had some success in the car business over there. Although the boss is someone else, I'm in charge of the business because I know the market. The foot soldier said, I sell at least 80 cars over there every year. I earn a lot of money. Brother Noodles, who was jealous when he heard about making money, nodded vigorously and poured wine for the foot soldier again. The light dishes were also served. In fact, I also missed out on a lot of business. The reason is very simple. For example, I sold a Panamera for more than 300,000 yuan. Some of them could directly form a transaction, but some people also liked it very much, but they didn't have so much money. They only sold it for more than 200,000 yuan and insisted on buying the Panamera. In the end, it could only be left unsettled. They really wanted it. They didn't like the kind of Phaeton or Touareg that could be sold for more than 200,000 yuan. Brother Noodles nodded vigorously. Brother Noodles, what do you think we should do now? The foot soldier sighed. I've missed out on a lot of business because of this situation. Under such circumstances, if there's a water wheel to make up for this gap, the business will definitely be successful. Brother Noodles said, although there's no paperwork for a water wheel, people who really like this car will not care about it in the heat of the moment when they have no money. Brother Noodles, you're right. Many people only play with this kind of car in the heat of the moment. The foot soldier said, that's why I have to make up for this gap. Every year, there are at least 300 bad deals because of this situation. Even if I can capture 20% of them, it will still be a very objective income. Brother Noodles nodded and gave him a thumbs up. Brother, you're really smart. I'm impressed by you on this matter. Brother, stop praising me. If you keep praising me, I'll become arrogant. The foot soldier laughed. Brother Noodles, how about this? As long as you can find me the best source of cars, I definitely won't treat you badly. I'll give you a normal 1%, right? It doesn't matter even if I give you another 0.5 points. As long as there's no problem with the car. Brother, you're someone who knows the business. How can there be no problem with a water wheel in this day and age? There's always a problem. Brother Noodles smiled a little awkwardly. The foot soldier nodded. I know. I'm saying that I can accept a typical disassembly, but don't give me a car that's cut in half and welded together. If something happens, I'll have a headache too. I want to avoid trouble. That's a must. When Brother Noodles heard this, he felt even more assured. This was a request that only a true businessman would make. Leave the safety of the source of cars to me. I'm familiar with the assembly plants here. With that, I'm relieved. The foot soldier laughed. By the way, brother, you said that your boss wants to get a few cars for himself to play with. What do you want them to look like? Brother Noodles said, I'll help your boss choose and see if there are any suitable ones. I'll give him the lowest price. I don't want any suggestions. I guarantee the quality and the price. The foot soldier raised his wine glass. Then I'll give a toast to Brother Noodles. Brother Noodles is a righteous man. All right. Cheers. Brother Noodles raised his glass as well. The foot soldier took a sip and said, To be honest, my boss didn't tell me clearly what car he wants. He's too slow to consider things. Yesterday, I asked him what car he wanted, but he hadn't thought of it yet. Sigh. Ha ha, brother, bosses are all like that. You'll get used to it. Brother Noodles said, It's fine if he hasn't thought it through. I'll help him see if there are any good cars recently. Then, I'll report to you. You can tell him and see if there's anything he likes. That works too. But it'll be too troublesome. After the foot soldier said that, he suddenly took out 20,000 yuan. Brother Noodles, take this money. Treat it as a deposit. If my boss likes it, it definitely won't be a cheap car. This money definitely won't be enough as a suggestion. Take it first. I'll compensate you if it's not enough. No. I already said that I don't need any suggestions. Brother Noodles said, Treat it as a greeting gift. Brother Noodles, this money isn't mine. It's my boss's. There's no need for me to scrimp. You understand, right? The foot soldier smiled. Brother Noodles was taken aback. Then, brother, keep this money for yourself. You introduced me to such a long-term job. I definitely can't accept this money. Brother Noodles, do you really want me to make things clear? The foot soldier said, Brother, I really don't lack this money. Just take it. We're virgins. I won't take advantage of Brother Noodles when it comes to cooperation. Chapter 3491. When Brother Noodles heard the footman's words, he was quite touched. Abbing, from now on, treat Huangjiang as your second home. As long as you come here, Brother Noodles will not treat you unfairly. From now on, you are Brother Noodles' brother. Brother Noodles, you said it yourself. I will eat and drink your food when I come here in the future. My entertainment will be on you too. The soldier laughed. No problem. Brother Noodle said straightforwardly. This was nothing more than a case of wool coming from a sheep's back. Brother Noodle had no reason to refuse. The soldier took out a cigarette and handed it to Brother Noodles. My boss told me that it is not the time for me to earn money at my age. I need to learn how to spend money, learn how to make friends, learn how to have fun. Only by learning how to have fun now can I earn big money in the future. If I can't even learn how to have fun when I'm young, I can forget about making money by having fun in society. Brother Noodles gave him a thumbs up. Your boss is definitely your benefactor. If I met such a boss when I was young, I wouldn't be where I am now. Brother Noodles, you are doing pretty well too. The soldier laughed. Far from it. Compared to your age, I am far from it. Brother Noodles shook his head. Let's not talk about anything else. Just the car keys. Ha ha ha, your car is a Porsche. Mine is a broken Toyota. The soldier shook his head. Brother Noodles, you are being humble. My Cayenne is an escort car after all. It's only about 300,000. Your Sharp Ambition V6 should be close to 30, right? Mine is just a four-wheeled car. It might not have been cheap when people bought it, but I only spent a few tens of thousands to buy it. A car that has been in an accident is not worth much." Brother Noodles laughed. "Brother, you think too highly of me. If I could afford a car that costs 200,000 to 300,000, I wouldn't be in this state now." "Brother Noodles, don't worry. I am here to give you money." The soldier said, "I promise that with a good car source, you will be in the limelight in less than a month. Then I will have to toast you again." Brother Noodles was so excited that his hands were trembling. "Noodle bro, you don't have to be so courteous. I'll wait for your news after dinner. You can keep in touch. I'll also ask our boss if he has any goals in mind," the footman said. "That way, both of us will know what to do." "All right." Brother Noodles nodded vigorously and looked at the 20,000 yuan that the infantryman gave him again. "Then this money. Take it, take it." The foot soldier waved his hand. Although he didn't want to waste the 20,000 yuan, Su Yun had told him that the money had to be accepted. People nowadays were very smart and wouldn't do things that didn't benefit them. As the saying goes, one doesn't wake up early if there are no benefits. Only when people saw benefits would they have that kind of full motivation to do things. Otherwise, they would not have that kind of motivation at all. In fact, Brother Noodle's politeness and refusal were only superficial. In his heart, he wanted this money more than anyone else. In this world, no one would ever refuse money. As long as they got the money, everyone would be happy. "Then I won't stand on ceremony. Brother, thank you." Brother Noodles took the money after saying that. This time, he really didn't expect such a big pie to fall from the sky. If he didn't know the footman and the footman mentioned 3 cars to him, he wouldn't have believed that such a good thing could happen. Looking at the 20,000 yuan in his hand, Noodle Bro felt even more assured. 20,000 yuan. It was almost enough to be a middleman for 3 cars. It was so hard to make a living these days. Many people couldn't even make 3 cars in a year. "Brother Noodles, the wine has been drunk and the food has been eaten. I've also explained everything to you. I'll leave the rest to you." The footman confirmed again. "You can't let me down. Our boss is very picky. Really, it's not easy for anyone to make money these days. I don't want this money to be earned by anyone other than Brother Noodles. In Huangjiang, the person I trust the most is you. As for Monkey, the 3 tyrants, Chan Yi, and the others, they are too slippery. I'll give you the opportunity first. The rest is up to you. Brother, don't worry. I understand this principle. If I don't do it well, I can't expect you to give me the money for free." Brother Noodles said, "I'll definitely earn it with my own ability." "Then I'm relieved." The footman stood up and shook hands with Brother Noodles. "Then I'll go back to the hotel first. When there's news, we'll contact each other immediately." "Okay. All right." Noodle Brother nodded vigorously. At this moment, Brother Noodles was more impatient than anyone else. The faster he gained their trust, the sooner he could earn money. If he was a step late, someone else might snatch away his chance to make a fortune. This opportunity wasn't something that required skill. In the entire Huangjiang, there were no less than 100 people who could do this beautifully. Therefore, Brother Noodles had to do his best to protect this opportunity to make money. Moreover, Brother Noodles had reached an age where he needed to save money. At this time, he had to seize every opportunity in his life. After watching the footman drive away, Brother Noodles quickly took out his phone and began to contact a few powerful bosses. From now on, he had to pave the way for himself on a large scale. He just had to wait for the moment when the opportunity came. Thinking of this, Brother Noodles couldn't help but smile. The call went through. He smiled and said in high spirits, "Boss Huang, I'm a Noodles. Are there any good goods recently? I'll look for you to take a look." "Ha ha ha. Yes, there's a rich boss who wants to buy a few cars to play with." Okay. "I'll look for you in half an hour." After making an appointment, Brother Noodles drove away in high spirits. He estimated that he could meet a few people in the afternoon. After the footman returned to the hotel, he immediately reported the situation to Su Yun. Su Yun was quite satisfied. The footman did a good job. Now they had a middleman who could be controlled at will. This middleman didn't have to worry about being noticed or suspected at all. Brother Yun, this 20,000 yuan is really a bit of a loss. The footman said, we can't get the money back if we give it to him. Isn't it worth it to spend 20,000 yuan to buy a person who can play a vital role for us? Su Yun smiled. Don't think so much about the money. What's important is how the money can change the whole thing. As long as it's worth it, even if it's 100,000 or 200,000 yuan, it's worth it. Although the footman nodded in agreement, he still felt that it was a loss. For someone like Brother Noodles, 10,000 yuan was enough to make him happy. He should be able to get some car models ready soon. Maybe he'll contact me tonight. What should I say then? Asked the footman. Don't worry. What we need to do now is wait for Cho Yun's news. As long as there's news from Cho Yun's side, it'll be fine. Su Yun, if there's no news from Cho Yun's side, just say that you haven't thought about it yet. Drag it out a little longer. I think Cho Yun will get the news soon. Okay. The footman nodded. Su Yun didn't go out of the hotel because he had some scruples. It was quite uncomfortable to stay in the hotel. Fortunately, while the two were watching a movie, Cho Yun sent news again. Triangle Eyes was now at a car repair shop called Specialist. It seemed that he had made an appointment with someone. Getting this information was very important to Su Yun because Specialist was the car repair shop that the footman went to when he first came to Huangjiang to pick up the car. The owner of the car repair shop was called Big Head, and the people under him called him Chief Head. This person was indeed a leader in the water wheel business in the Huangjiang River, and this auto repair factory was a legitimate business under his command. He also controlled an auto assembly factory behind the scenes. This infantryman had been there once. On the surface, this assembly factory naturally did not openly assemble water wheels, but they could still do some work. After all, those water wheels that had been cut were basically assembled in Hong Kong and Macau, and the work of soldering there was more delicate. Big Head's assembly factory was mainly engaged in the assembly and packaging of various electronic parts and audio accessories. They also did some manual inserts and soldering, but the work was not as delicate as the soldering of the assembly factories in Hong Kong and Macau. With this information, the footman had a plan. Brother Yun, I have an idea now. The footman said, that guy must have contacted Big Head if he went to that place. I'll ask someone to find out if Big Head has any cars there. This matter will be settled, right? You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.